hello to episode 31 of the Aim Down Sights podcast, or 32. I don't even know what episode we're on anymore, people. I have no clue. But I just want to say a quick thank you to Holly for joining us, that blue number. We're going to do some intros and then we're going to get into some topics. So I'm going to start off with our lovely, lovely guest, that blue number. How are you? What have you been up to? What have you been playing? Yeah. Thank you for joining us. Yeah.
Yeah, I love you guys, and it's great to be here. I went wedding dress shopping with my best friend today. She's getting married, so we did that, and then we did lunch, and we had a couple drinks, so it's gonna be a good time. Glad to be back here talking about games. I finished the Lake House about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, the Alan Wake DLC.
Oh, the DLC, yeah.
Yes. Has anybody else played that?
Nama was.
Yeah, I finished it a few weeks ago as well.
Ah, finally! I have been
Yes.
begging have you played it? Have you played it? Have you played it? Nobody's played
It's
it.
crazy
and I
how
wanna
nobody
talk about
supports
it.
that game. It's so good.
But everybody supported the original, right? Like the first drop, right?
Yeah.
But
I think so. Yeah.
And I just bought the deluxe edition when it first came out, just because, like, it was only about $10 more, and anytime that DLC is kind of packaged up in there with that, I'm always like, sure, right? So anyway, I did that. It was really good. I had a lot of issues with the main game, but I very much liked the DLC. But then besides that, I just play Call of Duty all the time lately because I'm a Call of Duty nut, and so I've been playing a lot of zombies. I'm working on the campaign very slowly because I like to do like the calling card challenges and some of that other stuff. So you inevitably almost always have to replay missions for that, which is fine. So I'm working through that, and then of course multiplayer. I'm doing the camo grind, so it will take me forever. And I start with the worst guns, which is snipers, because I hate myself. And so
I mean, once they're out of the way, you're like, fuck it, I don't have to touch you again.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, 100%. It's like me when I'm eating something, I'm like, I'm going to start with the bit I like the least and finish off with what I like the most at the end. 100%.
Exactly. You always eat the green beans first because you're like, green beans, right? And then you're like, yeah, steak. Yeah.
Yeah, finish on a steak. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yep.
That sounds like a good time with Alan Wake there for you, and then even COD. Yeah, I need to actually play some COD. I was playing with like Pete and Boba, and I'm like, no, I should really play by myself and like level up my guns before I jump in with them, because of the skill-based matchmaking is horrific. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
It's very sweaty.
They've made a lot of changes this year, and they changed a couple things that I'm not a super fan of. The skill-based matchmaking, I know people used to crap on it all the time, but honestly, I feel like whatever tweaks they did to it for this one, it's not working. Like, I feel like it's almost shut off, right? Because I'm doing these snipers, so I'm trash at them, so it's just like constantly like, I'm like, okay, I suck, give me a better lobby for this, right? So I have a better chance to work on this gun, and it just doesn't really kick in like it used to.
No, yeah.
And then
I agree.
They tweaked the aim assist, and like that's the one thing, right, that mouse and key really, really have over controller people, right, is the fact that they're so much easier to get precision at quick. So aim assist is important on a controller, and they tweaked it so badly.
I noticed it
it's
immediately.
almost non-existent.
It's non-existent. Like, I was like, the beta had more aim assist than this did.
Yes,
holy shit, I noticed immediately. I was like, wait, do I have aim assist on? Because I'm really not. And I was like,
it's
oh,
really
it is on. I noticed it. I was like, what the fuck?
Yes, those are my two biggest gripes with it. I'm just like, okay, I'm like, it's frustrating, but the actual game itself is really, really good. So, are you a campaign player? Are any of you a campaign player?
I will play campaign eventually. I haven't had lots of time. Yeah, I haven't even had much time to game. Like, yesterday was probably the most amount of time I've gamed in one sitting, which was like, I think 4 hours. Other than that, I haven't had any time for gaming. Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Mm.
at that mission in Black Ops campaign. If you know, you know that mission, that cool mission that kind of catch you off guard. If the people who know, I haven't finished it yet. Like I said, I'm on that mission. I just been jumping all around, so it's really a dope campaign from what I played.
Mhm.
I enjoyed last year's campaign. I know that might be controversial. I enjoyed Modern Warfare 3 once it came to Game Pass, but that's because I'm
Yeah.
one of the people that's been buying it every year for the last 10 years. So
Fair point. Fair point. Um, well, we're gonna check out with everyone else. Nera, since you were just sharing, how are you? What have you been up to?
all
Yeah.
right, well, I'm
How
getting
much
over
of a
this.
pony bot are you now? Come on.
I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna start on Xbox first. What I've been playing over here. I got something for Far Q special. I want to shout out when I get the PlayStation, right? But for one, I've been trying to get over this cold, man. It's been lingering the last couple of weeks, but I just had a big cup of green tea with honey, so it gave me a nice little boost. But on Xbox, I've been pretty much doing the same, playing Black Ops. Now, well, I don't even want to speak on this game because it's gonna be one of the quick news topics, but GTA San Andreas Definitive Edition. They finally getting that game where it need to be. 2 years in. What else? And Madden, yo. I've been having a blast on Madden, yo. Shout out to my homie Gritty. We've been having some legendary games, man. Every day, man. Close games, man. Some of the best games that I done had in Madden this year, man. So shout out to him. On the PlayStation side of things, I actually wrapped up something today, Ratchet and Clank. And I was talking to my homie Gritty about it because he asked me what number do I get. I said 7. He was like, "Yo, anything less than an 8 is crazy." I said, "I just don't see it." I played it through PS Plus, and it took me about 8-9 hours to beat, and that was with me trying to do little side stuff here and there. That was with me trying to go off the beaten path, but the game just wasn't really gripping me. And I wanted to test it out on my PS5 Pro. Definitely looks and run great. Uh, just the fact that Sony can get away with charging 70 for them short type games is diabolical. I feel like Spider-Man 2 was on the short side as well. That took me less than 25 hours to get the platinum trophy. So uh, yeah, but what else I've been
Was
playing?
it
Days Gone. Y'all know that's one of my favorites. So I'm happy to be playing that again. Absolute
sorry.
banger. One of Sony's most underrated games. The fact that they didn't greenlight a sequel is ridiculous. And I've just been playing different things, trying to test out the Pro. Hogwarts Legacy looks great on the PS5 Pro. Don't really look much better than what I was getting on my Series X. So it's been a mixed bag so far, man. And a lot of the patches hasn't even gone live. So I'm like, launching the console and bragging about how many Pro patches is out there. I'm looking at you, Zuby Tech or Zub, whatever tech name he is, man. One of the PlayStation centric guys. It's like a list of over 100 Pro enhanced games, and I got the Pro in front of me, and I'm not really seeing that translate into reality. But the few Pro games I have played is really dope, man. So that's pretty much what I've been up to. Not as much gaming as I usually do. Trying to get over this cold.
Hmm. Well, cold's a great excuse to play more video games, and you're in the colder time of the year. Like it's now
Definitely.
basically almost summer, so I'm like, I shouldn't really be outside. um, yeah. All right. Well, Nero, while you're there, before I head over to Soul, do you want to read out Red Wolf's super chat?
Oh, okay. Let's talk about Stalker 2 for the rest of the show. My boy Red Wolf Renegade, thank you for the $2. Look, I'm okay with that. I am okay with that, man. I am extremely happy that I'm not to sidetrack too much, but speaking of Stalker 2, it's funny because that's one of the first like quick news topics, right? And before the show, I was going through the news again, and I skimmed over that because it was at the top, and I put at the bottom, I was like, in all caps, highlight Stalker 2 is releasing in 3 days. So, but then I scrolled up
There
and I
you
was like,
go.
oh, and I thought because
There you
Panda
go.
is like she always come and cleans up if I got like double topics, stuff like that, and I immediately
I
thought of
haven't
her,
covered and cleaned up today.
and I slowly deleted it one character at a time, feeling like a dumbass. Like, yeah, let's just back that up. But yeah, shout out to Stalker 2 and those devs.
Wicked, wicked. I just asked in the chat, how is everyone's volume? Does anyone need adjusting in any way, shape, or form? So just let us know. But Soul, how are you? What have you been up to? Yeah, what have you been playing?
Um, Shit, I'm feeling my damn age. That's what I've been up to. How about that? My gosh, it's crazy. Once you hit that 40, when the 40 truck hits you, you're like, whoa, what the fuck just happened? Right? And you're like, okay, I was good yesterday. Yeah, that 50 truck is a fool, man. That 50 truck, I think he's got some extra tires or some shit going on because every day, is a struggle. But hey, life is good. I'm 6 feet above, not 6 feet below. So really, it's just all for shits and giggles with the complaints and everything. But everything is good, just working hard, dealing with these kids every day and trying to learn them something and doing it like that. Been watching a lot of TV though. Finished up Penguin.
Amazing show.
Really
I don't know
good.
how I let that
If
slip past,
you
but
10
have
out of
not
10.
watched it,
please watch
if
it.
you have
It's
not
on my list. I've
watched
got
it,
it's
no,
like
We're
it's
Panda,
looking at
next
you,
on my
Panda.
list.
The entire panel
It's
is looking
the
at you
next
when we
on my
say this.
list. I'm currently watching
Panda,
something
It's so
else.
good.
So
yo,
yeah,
It's
let
it's
me
the
so
next
tell
on my
you,
list.
it's fire. It is. Let me. Okay, here's what I've been saying.
I'm like a DC fan, so like I will
Nah.
definitely
That's even
love it. Yeah.
worse.
Oh yeah, I know.
How is
You,
that worse?
Look,
yeah, you're
don't
digging
judge
in.
me. I'm a Batman stan, and I got ADHD. It's hard to really sit through long movies. It took me like two. Ask Reese, man. It took me weeks to finish the Batman movie. I had to chop it down.
Wait, the
30
new
minutes
one?
here, 40 minutes here. Yep.
Yeah, the new one
Okay.
was I mean it was great, but it was a watch.
Yeah. I mean,
Definitely
I,
a
I
watch.
dug it. I mean, I dug it,
I
but no.
enjoyed it, but there were bits where I was like the pacing was very slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
I
think it
don't
was
think
meant
it's
to
as
be
good
that
as the
way.
Vale ones.
No.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe it moved it slow because it's more like an actual detective movie,
Well, it felt
and
more
maybe
like
that's why it moves so slow.
obviously you're in Batman's head the whole time because you're hearing him like narrate
Yeah.
different pieces and things like that. So it's
Yeah.
very. I enjoyed it though. I was like, I
Yeah.
definitely want to
Yeah.
see a sequel.
Well, I mean, I'll
You
tell you
will.
this with the my gosh, playing with this light with the Penguin series. Who knows what we're gonna get? But I think what we're gonna get, if they continue down this path, if they can keep this group of writers or keep bringing in writers like this, I think the next movie or so or series is going to be fire. I don't want to give anything away, but let me just say this: if did anyone on the panel watch You on Netflix?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, the
Yes.
stalking show?
Yes.
And you found yourself rooting for him, right?
But this show, without giving anything away, talking
Right?
in obscurities, the Penguin. The difference is the Penguin, you come to have an understanding and an empathy of both sides. So
Yeah.
by the end, you're just like,
You're getting
okay,
360-degree view,
I
right, of
don't quite
everything.
know how I feel.
Kind of conflicted
It's
about
not good,
everything.
it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's just
Well,
this is what it is.
have any
Right.
of you watched Andor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I
know how
have not.
you've
And
got the
I'm ready
blonde
for
chick in
season
it, and
2.
you're kind of rooting for her a little bit because of what she's pushing back against. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that. And I'm like, I shouldn't be rooting for her because like
Well,
she works for them.
let me just say Oz is it's different parts. You're like, man, I understand. I get it, right? And then other parts you're just like, oh,
Yes.
whoa. This this
Yes.
this ain't your mama's penguin. This ain't Burgess Meredith. You know what I mean?
No.
With the
This isn't Danny
Adam West
DeVito
series.
with
This
the
ain't Danny
beeps.
DeVito. Yo, this is a different kind of. First of all, I
But
like the fact that
even
his name is
Sophia's
Oz
side.
and then Cobb.
Sophia's
Oh
side
yeah.
too.
Ooh. You gotta watch this, Panda.
It's literally
Panda,
next on my list.
no. You
It's
need to
his
like
story.
I need to finish my current one that I'm watching,
well
and then I
finish
will
that shit
watch
up. Hurry
this.
up because this
Yeah.
is really good. Like
And it's
I
gonna get
wouldn't.
spoiled if you don't.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
yeah. It's gonna
yeah,
be
Yeah,
I'm
that's why I'm
hard.
being
I'm
quiet
pretty
because
good
it's
at
It's
hard to
gonna be
talk
avoiding.
about it.
hard.
I'm pretty good at avoiding spoilers for things I'm really excited for. So
Okay, okay. I was gonna ask
Hey, they
Nero
said her
and
mic is
Blue.
low. I believe they might be talking about Blue. She sound good on my end. So.
Yeah, she sounds fine on my end as well.
I mean, she sounds
Um,
a little bit quiet on my end, so
It tends to happen.
her mic
okay.
low. Who are we talking about? I assume it might be Holly. It could be me. I don't know. But
I
yeah,
don't know. There's chat. I mean not chat, but chat and panel. Um, gosh, dog it, Panda, you killing me with the
you're welcome.
end kind of scene twist that you didn't kind of see. Okay. So you're shaking your head. Do you think? Because I saw this as a wild ass theory, and I was like, maybe they could go away from what's canon, and I would be okay with it. What if that certain person has been watching, but for whatever reason hasn't been moving, and maybe he was lurking, and maybe just maybe he kind of comes in and saves the day to what we think has happened, and maybe somebody could become someone else that's on his side.
Yeah, I thought the
Uh,
same, man.
that could have a black and blue uniform, a whole new name change because
Yeah,
there
I
could
can't
be
even
a
speak
name
because
change.
if I speak, I'm gonna
Say
just
black
spoil it,
and blue, and
man.
I
No,
Yeah,
automatically think of Nightwing. By the
yeah,
way,
that's
no.
yeah.
I'm talking about the Beetle. Damn it, Beetle. Come on, now. Okay, gosh, dog. See, I got number. You're thinking about it. That's all I want to do is plant the seed. I just wanted to plant the seed because I said to myself that I could dig it and I would go with it and I would be okay with it. I would be perfectly fine with it because I think it'd be a nice little fresh little twist on everything. And so I'm hoping for that. Penguin was really dope. I really like that. I'm glad I took the time to watch that. Agatha. I liked Agatha, and I liked it
I
a
loved
lot.
Agatha.
I liked it
Did I
a
tell you to
lot.
watch it?
You did, and I
I
didn't get back
did.
to you to let you know that I watched it. I really dug Agatha. Agatha was
It
good.
was good.
I
Patti
like where they're.
LuPone.
Yeah. I love where they're going with that. That song. That song, I was like, I kind of like that song. I really want them to put a
There's
hot
like
little
four.
track behind it and sell it.
There's like 4 iterations of that
They
song
did.
in the show, and I loved that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. The song was good. The show was really good. I like what I saw as far as a costume at the end. It was very much straight out of the comic book. I dug it. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, the two things
Yeah,
that they kept from the comics. Yeah, with
yeah.
that character and the other character. Yep. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
I just haven't watched
And so
it.
I want to see how they
Pick
if
up
there's
with
a new
Quest.
season or where they pick up and where they go and where
I
the brother
think they're
comes
going to
into
go to
play.
Vision Quest next.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think.
And I can see it. And that would be dope. That would be dope. I think I let you guys know like last week maybe that Vox Machina, but I kind of went back and revisited that. And that's still just, I had to go back and just kind of rewatch some episodes that I kind of faded in and out on. But yeah, it was that was dope. I haven't jumped into didn't Arcane drop? I think
Arcane
Arcane dropped.
Yes.
Season 2, the first part. I think the second part drops next
Okay.
week.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to jump
And then
into
there's
that.
a third part.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to jump into that yet, but that is on my list of things to jump into. And
That's on
go
mine
ahead.
after Penguin, by the way.
Oh, okay.
But I'm
Okay.
waiting till the whole series of season 2
Yeah,
drops.
because I want to do the same thing and just kind of run right through it. So I will probably wait. It's going to be hard to stay away from anything that's going to be talking about it because I know it's going to be really dope. Let me see what else here.
Yeah.
The gaming has been on a little bit of a lower end. Getting home, being tired. Have been in the Dragon Age. The art style is fire. I love it. That's me. But I like a lot of different art styles. The gameplay for me has been pretty cool so far.
Did you
I'm
play
digging
Dragon's
that.
Dogma
I
2? Did you play Dragon's
yeah,
Dogma
I'm
2?
so yeah.
Out of
I
the
didn't play
two,
the
which
original.
one
I'm
is a better
playing
game?
2.
No, you don't need to play
Right
number 1. You don't need to
now,
play number 1. Just 2. Yeah. Which one are
okay,
you?
right
Do you like
now,
more?
but I haven't gotten super deep
Okay.
into Veilguard, so I'm deep enough into Dragon's Dogma 2 to have a great feel for the gameplay mechanics and and
You
everything.
got Magic
I
Archer
can't
yet?
say that I'm that far. Yeah, I'm not that far in
Uh,
to say that. Okay, I've got it down where I feel like a flow or it's kind of moving. So get back with me maybe a week. I would say right now, Dragon's Dogma 2. If I'm just comparing what I know of DD2 and this one so far, but that could change. But I'm really digging it. Now I can see where folks are like, well, the writing could use a little pepper. Yeah. But I haven't gotten into any scenes that are, the big ones that, oh my gosh, I can't believe that they were talking down to us in about 3 minutes. And I haven't gotten there. But I think that's according to your choice, right?
I have no
Mhm.
idea.
You'll never, I haven't gotten that far. So I don't
And
know
if you're
if,
not trans, you won't be seeing trans dialogue. I mean, if,
well, that's what I thought. So, okay, fine. Um, there you go. So, but the writing, it's light. It's not heavy.
I like to
I,
answer
I
that question
So,
afterwards too,
but I
Panda.
like the story on Dragon's Dogma 2 so far better than this one. But I like where they're going. Okay, maybe it's the acting. I don't know. I don't feel as solid about it as I do for Dragon's Dogma 2. How about that? If that makes
Okay.
sense. Nero, what's your thoughts?
I'm in the same vein as you, and I actually play. I'm about right at 30 hours into Dragon Age
Yeah.
Veilguard, and I got a plethora of hours in Dragon's Dogma 2. I love that game so much that I'm tempted to buy it on the Pro for $40. It's on sale right now, and I'm just like, ah. But I heard there's some
Good game.
issues with PSSR and the global illumination not playing well together, so I'm mixed. I want them to clean that up. I'm not trying to go from complaining about certain things on the X and then got a more powerful console and complaining about other things. Like that's not the ideal
Mm.
situation. But I'm leaning towards Dragon's Dogma for a plethora of things. I feel like the world itself just feels a lot more lived in. It just feels a lot more vibrant. But it's so close, man. It's closer than I thought it would be leading into it. Combat, I got to give that to Dragon's Dogma 2. But Veilguard is not too far behind. And that's just from the one build that I've been playing, which is the Archer. Now, the writing, I will say this, I'm a BioWare fan. I am a Mass Effect stan. I've
Yes.
been talking to my homie Gritty because the girl I made in this playthrough, I'm kind of playing that neutral role, like that stern but nice. And especially with my companions, I'm telling them everything they want to hear. I'm hearting trying to be a whore. I'm trying to be a slut. Like every companion I'm trying to sleep with. I don't give a damn. I'm trying to
I
sleep with them
mean,
all.
just play Baldur's Gate 3 and you don't have to really speak to them at all before they want to jump your bones.
Yeah, I got to
They
get
are
back to that.
just
I really have to get back to that. But that
yeah.
game, for some reason, as good as that game is, like when you got games like Baldur's Gate 3, you're not in a rush to really play those games. Like even with as much time as I put in with Starfield, I feel okay putting that back so to the point where
It's
even
a
if
bit
I
of a
come back,
marathon, right?
yeah,
That
even if
game,
I come
like
back
Yeah.
next, like some of these games, I don't mind coming back with a more powerful Xbox to clean up the little issues I have been having. Like,
that like me with Cyberpunk. It just like I
yo,
put that down. I've actually been playing that this week. I
so good,
yeah, I love
so good.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah, but
Um,
overall, I'm leaning towards Dragon's Dogma 2. But I'm sorry, Pan. I would love to hear what you've been playing because I'm always ears when somebody say something about Cyberpunk. Such a great
I've
game.
just been playing Cyberpunk, and I also installed and started the Spyro trilogy that's on Game Pass. I've
Mm.
never played Spyro the Dragon. And so I was like, I'll turn that on and give that a go.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I was playing yesterday for my like 4 hours of gameplay. But I was really, really enjoying it. And then what else have I been playing this week? Well, if you weren't sitting under a rock and you happen to watch like Blizzard's World of Warcraft stream, you would know that there was the 30th anniversary edition, like 30th anniversary of Warcraft itself, which is the RTS
Mhm.
games, and they confirmed that Warcraft 1 got a remaster with updated controls, and Warcraft 2 also got a remaster. And they bundled that in with the remastered version of Warcraft 3 if you want. So I've got Warcraft 1, 2, and 3. I got those myself for Christmas, so early Christmas. So if I'm not on
Nice,
Xbox
nice.
or anything like that and I am gaming, it's most likely going to be those games because I just love Warcraft. I've never played WoW because I grew up playing the RTS version of that game. So yeah, I love
Mhm.
it. I love it. And I nearly died. But the next game I'm purchasing that is a remaster will be Croc. And I've mentioned it probably every show since they announced it was getting a remaster because I love that game. On
What
PS.
about the one remaster that's coming in the top half of December? What is it? Legacy of Kain? Is that the name of it? I'm not
Yep.
I
too familiar.
Soul
haven't
Reaver.
played
Yeah,
that, the
Soul
Soul
Reaver.
Reaver
Yeah.
one. I might pick it up. I might play it. Yeah, I've
Wait
never
a
played it.
minute.
And,
Didn't it
one
come out
last
on?
thing. What about the Thing remaster that's coming from back in the day? If y'all know what I'm talking about.
Damn it, Panda, I'm about to talk about your ass, but I have to remember though. I have to remember though, as far as when that game came out and how old you are.
When did the game come out? Like which platform?
It
It's
was like
PlayStation, but
It was a
I didn't
PlayStation
yeah,
game,
play that
right?
either.
yeah,
Yeah.
I never had a
yeah. It was
PlayStation
like
growing up, so
PlayStation Dreamcast.
I didn't have a Dreamcast. We had a NES, we had a 64, we had a GameCube, we had PC, and then we never had PlayStation. The only time PlayStation was in our house was when my brother's friends would bring it over and they'd play like Final Fantasy or something like that on there.
Yeah.
So no, I never played it. Legacy of Kain.
Great game. Still probably one of the best games, trilogies, complete story, writing, awesome.
So
Awesome.
basically, you saying I got to pick that up.
Yes.
I hope that whatever this remaster is I hope it plays well, because when I tell you that is the voice acting is phenomenal,
Mm.
and it's the oh my gosh, she's done such good work, and I was so surprised that she got moved around, or maybe she moved on her own. She is doing the new Captain America Black Panther game, and I can't think of her name, and gosh dog it, why can't I think of it? But she's awesome. Everything she she did some of the Uncharted stuff. What
Oh
is
yeah, I know the
her
lady you're talking
name?
about. I can't think of her name to save
Yeah.
my life, but I know who you're talking about.
But yes, and when I tell you the story is so good. You were about to say Blue? You didn't catch it? I thought you
I
were
think I
looking.
know what the name is. It's
I
floating
can't
around, and then I was
I
gonna
can't
say it, and I was like, let me look up
I
real
can't think
quick.
of it. Oh my god! But let me just say, it is really good. Now, I do not want anyone to go in thinking like it is about to be some crazy every three
Amy Hennig.
seconds.
Yeah,
Amy
it's
Hennig,
Amy
there
Hennig.
it is. Yes, she's awesome. The action is really good, man. It's a dope game. It is so good. The series is fire, and it got better. 1 and 2, I think, are better than 3, but 3 was really good though. Let me just say that. I
Well,
mean,
I just put it
just
in my wish list. It's
dude,
only 1 and
yeah.
2 being remastered, so that's
Okay.
the great thing. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
and it's
So
only $30. And if
if
you,
you like vampires,
mhm,
if you
I
like the
do,
whole angels, demons, all of that,
I do.
then you're definitely going to like it. And with the story, it's so dope. I mean, just God, I can't even talk about it. It's kind of like the Penguin, just how it jumps off.
Mm.
And Kane, you realize Kane is that dude. But I never did go back and play the other Blood Omen. And I never did go back to those games when it was centered around Kane. So I kind of want to find them and then get into those and see how that story jumps into the Legacy of Kane game. So we'll see. I was really hoping that Microsoft, and we might get into this, I was hoping that they would buy Crystal Dynamic, and Idols Montreal and whatnot, because they worked on that game, back in the day, and I was hoping that they would do it and get the IP. But I think it doesn't Tencent or somebody have the IP. I think they
I'm not even
bought
listening
those.
because fuck you is fucking distracting.
Oh yeah, He's always on something.
Oh my fucking god!
What did he send?
Oh,
He sent some dumb shit, didn't he?
of
His-
Holly Red Wolf.
His AI
Oh,
skills are.
He said he
second
just
to
started
none.
doing that. Yeah.
second to
So
none.
good.
Can you show it to everyone, or can you send it in the
I-
chat, or what are we doing?
I'll send it in our chat.
Far cute that guy right there. So yeah, Nero, hey man, you need to
Fucking
check that
funny.
out though. I think I'm watching you, when you're always posting about the games that you're playing, man. I think you would dig this. I think you
Yeah,
would
I'm
dig
definitely. I definitely put it in my cart. I
think
would
you would dig
definitely
it, man.
grab it. I'm
Truth be
hoping.
told, I'm such a fan. Real talk. My
Mhm.
gamer tag, since gamer tags have been a thing, has always been Soul Reaver.
Mm.
I just changed it in the last year. Matter of fact, it was Soul Reaver 7.
So I'm gonna be
before,
honest.
right?
You sold me the game about 15 minutes ago, brother.
Okay.
So,
I'm just telling
wait,
you.
let me
It's getting
ask.
got. Hey, so it's getting got, man.
Yeah, I'm just telling you. So
Yeah.
that was it. So it was hard for me to change it. I kept the soul part though.
Yep. Holly, yeah.
Let me ask real fast though, because I've heard about this game. I never played him either. I've heard a lot about this game over time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But like when they announced that they were finally doing this, I was like, well, this is what people have been asking for a long time. But then they said remaster, and I went,
Yep. I agree.
it's so old that you can't look. I am like
Remake it.
Dead Rising's #1 fan, and they came out with the deluxe remaster, and I was dumb excited. Bought it with like deluxe edition, all that stuff. I got into that game and I was so pissed so quickly. The controls are still like they're so clunky, and I know they upgraded them.
Yeah.
But like I'll be in the middle of a swing to hit a zombie and it'll just interrupt the whole thing and grab you. And like
Yeah.
the timing on it is off, and
Yeah.
the
I'll be
visuals
honest.
are fine.
I saw that game and I watched the gameplay for it, and I was like, I think I'm just gonna stick with like number 2, 3, and 4.
I got duped because all of the people who were doing the reviews for it gave it really high marks and stuff. And the visuals, they did a good job of just remastering them and updating. They did. But I couldn't.
This is why I
finish it.
think we're in
couldn't.
for a real treat with like, oh my god, The Witcher 1 being remade.
Mm.
They're not doing a remaster; they are remaking The Witcher 1.
That's the Legacy of Kain stuff is so old. Why would you not do a remake?
You know
the
what? And
audience is
so-
clearly there.
Probably the funding they didn't want to.
Blue, I'm telling you. And I think it's because it is really narrative driven, and I think the way that they could really do this justice if they did a whole remake, with everything that they have technology wise, this game could be on a whole different level. Just imagine, I'm trying to imagine it if they kind of gave it the Hellblade look, but with the same action from 1 and 2. Forget about it. But you got to play the game and know what I'm talking about. I'm just looking at how beautiful this game would be. I don't know why they didn't go with a remake.
I'm looking so much forward to like Fable in a way, because like, yes, we've had the anniversary edition, we had Fable 2, we had Fable 3, but it feels like it's just really taking advantage of all the technology we have right now to deliver, I guess, how your brain kind of remembers those games to you when you were playing them.
Right.
Yeah, so.
I hope they're great.
Like,
I hope it doesn't matter.
I hope it's great.
Works.
I hope it's great.
I hope, like you said, that's why I said, well, hey, this will all depend on if the controls are updated and it's a lot smoother, then there you go. And if not, you're gonna be like, God, dog, man, this feels ancient. Because I mean, I would even play it and like, God,
Croc's remaster is updated controls, so you can have the old controls or you can have current controls. The old game had a fixed camera. You can now move the camera. Thank God. Mind you, I think the fixed camera did make some levels very difficult because it's a platforming game, and I hate platforming games, but I love this. Okay. Now, I know that this got sent to me and we were talking about it before the show, but just to share it with everyone, the great blitz of 2024.
Yeah, I just looked at him. That's wild.
Wow, yo.
Yeah, that's wild.
Absolutely diabolical work.
Get demonetized immediately. No kidding.
Right.
That's wild.
Oh,
That's how Reese walks to the keyboard every time he come to text about me not beating Sonic in the chat. That's exactly how he walks to the phone.
That's that whole hey, that's that. I don't know who's seen Baby Boy, but that's that Ving Rhames right there. I was like, wow, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Y'all got it. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Boy.
I just say you know the word.
Yeah, that's wild. All right, you know. Okay.
For those, I just want to say shout out to everyone who's watching live with us, whether you are on X, whether you are on YouTube. We appreciate each and every one of you. So thank you for joining us today. It should be a good show. We've got Holly with us, and Holly is always a fun time. Sorry to say it like that, Holly, but you're great. I love it. We live so far apart that has no other connotations behind me just being like, you're a cool person. Soul's leaning in on the camera. I love it. Got Soul as usual and Nero. So it's going to be a great show. Let's kick into some topics. I think very quickly, it's just like quick topics first. I'm just going to share this one. But Stalker 2, if you aren't aware, if you have been living under a rock, you need to clear as much room out of your hard drive as possible. So if that means saying goodbye to COD,
look at Clute caught in 4K. Hold up, look at Clute caught in 4K.
I know.
Being a fucking gloom and doomer. But they want to call me pony bots. You know what these fucking Stalker 2 devs went through to get this game to us this year?
Exactly.
Do you have any goddamn idea for you to come in the chat and talk about some damn Play Anywhere?
They could say, instead of Play Anywhere, Made Anywhere, because it wasn't just made where they made it.
Yo, Reese. Yo, first of all, it might need a pro patch because Sonic Frontiers had severe pop-in problems.
Not a pro patch. Damn, he didn't gave you the ponies.
Hey, look, man, Reese, man, tell Reese go beat Shattered Space, man. Like,
wow.
Okay.
Every time an Xbox dude come at me, I'm gonna go tell him to beat something I know they ain't beat. Hey, look, go beat them Doom Eternal, the Ancient God DLC is part 1 and 2, everybody. If you calling me that pony, because look, I don't want to see everybody out here dick riding Doom next year, man. Y'all be ignoring the great games that's sitting right here.
Okay. All right. Wait.
I'm sorry. I get sensitive.
Is that why you're going? He's hilarious. Holly, has he done another one?
Yes, he sent another one.
Oh my god.
It's Red Wolf.
All right. I need to look at the Red Wolf one. I need to look at the Red Wolf one in a second. But this is like 150 gigs just to pre-install the game. So 146 something.
Panda, what's up?
What it is. That's massive. That's like COD territory, which is why I kind of brought COD up. Has anyone pre-installed this game yet and cleared their hard drive to make room for it?
I tried. So it's funny. Earlier this week, after this announcement had been made, I was in a party with Gray Monad, and he said, "Oh yeah, it's available." It was like nowhere in the Game Pass tabs. Nowhere. You had to like search. You couldn't search it in the store. You had to go into like the store and then go into the Coming Soon tab to even find Stalker. And they had 2 or 3 of the game panels, but none of them said Game Pass. None of them allowed you to pre-install. Now that was 3 days ago. So I need to retry, but they were not available for pre-download at that time. But Great Monad had said that he had preloaded it back in the spring or something around that time, right? They had put it up on the store and people had pre-downloaded it then. And his pre-download was still active or available, and it was just available for update. So I don't know. It's probably there now, but it hasn't been.
I was able to pre-download it, and I was extreme. I never been so happy to give up over 100 gigs.
You're
at
like,
one time to a game.
clear
I'm like,
that
yo,
crap.
take it all. I'm like, yo, take it all, yo. Just take whatever the fuck you need, man. Anything that gotta go, gotta go. I'm super excited for that. And
I mean,
Yeah.
I think like it's on UE5, right? And so the fidelity that that game is offering, yeah, it's gonna be massive.
definitely.
The size of the game, like I think someone was talking about it being just smaller than GTA 5's map, and there are no land vehicles, so there's no ability to like quickly traverse the area. Whereas in like GTA 5, you've got a car, so the map seems a lot smaller. But like you're just walking. This game looks fucking hard. Like
Mhm.
and like I feel like you will definitely feel like that solo person on this journey through this game. And look, honestly, I'm super excited for this. You like getting them? I like getting them too, Holly. It just makes my day. I love it. It's just like I'm just like
They're so
you really.
good.
I get like this automated like bot one for like red pandas each day on X, and I was like, I kind of need like just a regular subscription to like fuck you, just putting up random photos.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Just
yes.
have him in a big like.
I would
text game.
subscribe.
Yeah,
Right.
100%. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
it'd be so good. They are fantastic. They are fantastic. I hope fuck you sent some of those to Red Wolf. I hope you did.
I've been sending them to Red on the side. He's
Yeah,
been
just-
laughing. He's like, I knew it was far cute.
Yeah, exactly. The only one. The only
Yeah.
one. Well, what you don't know is like fuck you sent me a Photoshop, like another version of our thumbnail this week for the show, and it was oh my god, why can't I think of her name? She's the main character in South of Midnight. Why?
Oh,
Hazel.
Hazel. There you go. It was completely gone. He'd changed Hazel to Nero.
Huh? Oh, I'm just not hearing about this. Like, yo, that caught me so off guard.
Oh, Panda, you didn't share. What's up with that?
Oh,
And
kill
Mark,
me.
you, man, hey man, you got to shoot these to me as well. What's the deal, baby? Come on.
Should I share that one? I really
A
think
true
I
menace
should.
to society. I would love to see
think
it.
I should share this one from the one that he
Why
sent
not?
earlier of this week's thumbnail.
Why not share it?
All right,
I mean, that's what we're
I'm
here for,
actually, I'm just going to quickly change us to full screen.
I mean, like we should have used that as a thumbnail. Hey, we should have used that. Hey, that is such a missed opportunity.
We'd already put it up. We'd already put
I
it
would
up.
have changed it.
Like-
Hey, fuck you. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Oh.
Wow.
I
Wow.
might use that as my profile picture when the game drops because that is one of my most anticipated games.
Fuck you. Please send the shot, like, send the image to Nero and he can set it up as his profile picture.
That's fire.
That's wild.
Oh, it was great. It was great. Yeah. It's gonna be a show. All right. I love it. Okay. I don't even know what I've got on next as a topic. You caught me so off guard. Fuck you with everything. And I've had
Spiral Trilogy coming to Game Pass.
I was just talking about this, like,
Mhm.
because it's already here. It's already released on Game Pass. So,
Mm-hmm.
Game Pass. Wow, this
Game
is what
Pass.
happens when you're a bit stoned.
Game Pass.
I'm literally like
problem to have.
having trouble to like put my sentences together.
The men are the sober ones.
The men are the sober ones. Yeah. Okay, so I was actually playing this, and has anyone played the original Spyros? I've seen them. Obviously, I saw the promotional material for this game before it launched about the comparisons to do with the remake and that. Has anyone played the remake or master? Whatever you want to call it.
I
Watch
have.
cartoons, Skylanders, good stuff.
Nero, what are your thoughts around?
I was waiting for them to get FPS boosted before I go back because I believe, to my knowledge, they're still running at 30 FPS because these did come out on the PS4 and Xbox One last generation. I absolutely love Spyro, man. Huge part of my childhood growing up. Spiral and Crash, especially on the PlayStation
Trying to be
1
sneaky
and 2.
there, Holly, eh?
Yeah,
Sorry.
helping the chaos.
Sorry, Nero. Sorry,
Oh
Nero.
no, y'all good, man. Absolutely. I was just saying, just really impactful for me personally, man. I absolutely love it. It's just modern day. I tried to jump into it, and it's just one of them things you love as a child, but then as an adult, you like, yo, it's so much here. I don't know if I'm gonna jump into this right now. I owned it before it came to Game Pass, so I'm happy that more people get to play it. It's there. I'm gonna probably get to it one day, but if they give an FPS boost, I'll probably be back tonight, man, or let it run at 120 or something like that, just to different, however you say that word, right? From what I remember as a child, because it looks so good now, but I'm like, I remember it looking like this as a child too, and I don't know, man. It's like, how much can you really do to really make it stand out too much? I am excited for Spiral 4 and the future of that, hopefully. I'm gonna be honest, yo. They should definitely access update this, man, because with these games like that, I'm sorry, I'm a whore. Like, I'm a graphic whore, man. You got to be doing something to stand out, because Hi-Fi Rush, incredible use of music, the rhythm, the art style, incredible. Ratchet and Clank, I just beat that. Like I said, I thought it was pretty mid, but the technical side of thing is amazing. So,
I
I would love
love
to see
Ratchet and
Spiral.
Clank.
I
It's so
enjoyed the
good.
one prior to this a lot more, but
Wait,
this was solid.
was it Rift Apart or was it
I just beat
the
Rift
one
Apart, but
before?
the one before that is
The
the
one
one I
before it was
enjoyed
better
more.
than
Yeah,
Rift
see,
Apart.
okay, so I'm not alone. I really enjoyed that one, and it seemed like I caught myself laughing a lot more in the prior Ratchet and
Yep,
Clank games
me
than
too.
I did with this. So,
Yep.
um, still was a great game though. I mean, I still enjoyed it. Story
Yeah,
was
yeah.
dope. Rivet is dope. I like how they introduced
Yep.
her, and
Yep.
the pro performance mode is really nice on the PS5 Pro as well. But Spiral, man, Xbox, show Spiral some love, man. Access, and that was one of the things I was happy about Microsoft acquiring Activision, is I thought a lot of these old games will really benefit from FPS boost, and just those behind the scenes upgrades without needing to physically the devs go do anything. And I've yet to see that. Me personally, I was disappointed when they announced that they was done with the FPS anyway. I was like, FPS boost should never be a feature
I
that
think it
just
was
has
based off those older games. I don't know about
the
this one.
ones that supported the feature. So that's probably why they stopped.
It's licensing that stopped them from doing the rest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say that is one of the best features from this generation.
And
But
you
yeah,
never know,
shout
they
out to
might have
Spiral.
changed things in the future to the way that they do their contracts with the licensing stuff to be able to continue in the future when we're looking at newer hardware down the line. But yeah, I was excited. I always wanted to play Spyro, but I never, ever got around to it. And it's in Game Pass, so turn it on. All 3 games. Sweet. And I do wish, though, like, when you're playing, like, some games that have had a remaster, you can like press a button and go back to the original graphics.
Mm-hmm.
It would be cool just to do that. Like, I love that feature in those games.
Tomb
But
Raider does that really well.
yeah, Halo did that really well with Combat Evolved and Halo 2. So yeah. Is anyone else gonna play this? Try it? Not really? Not your cup of tea? It is
Yeah, I am.
rather easy, but it's a good game.
Yeah, I'll probably play with my daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair.
Can't go
I
wrong.
mean,
with that.
she liked the Lucky Tales game. I kind of liked it myself. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of liked it myself. But so she'll probably get into this.
And then we've got Lego Horizon that is now. It's not getting the best, I guess. I'm not gonna.
You and Soul, most anticipated game of the year.
It's not getting the most love that I thought it would be. Like, I'm
You're a
gonna be
lie.
honest. Has anyone read through some of the reviews at all?
Yeah,
Panda, it
grazed
just
through 'em
fucking
earlier,
sucks. All
but-
right. Nah, I got this. Nah. This is where
I'm
this is
gonna
where I become the bad
100%
guy again.
disagree with you on that. Like,
You
yes,
take one of the most boring characters known to video gaming the world, and then you put her in one of the most boring gaming formats, which is Lego. I'm sorry. Lego games have given me a headache since a very small child. I don't know what about it. I don't know. I don't. I don't know what about any Lego game I ever played. I play for about 15, 20 minutes and turn that shit off and be like, yo, never again. And it's sad because I know they are good games, man. Like the Indiana Jones games, Lego games was good back in the day. Star Wars, I hear so many good things, but just not for me.
Lego Batman was my first introduction to Lego games, and I fucking loved it.
Oh, with Will Arnett doing the voice, and it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This would have been the original Lego Batman. So Lego Batman 1, 2, and 3, like before they started giving them voices.
Oh,
yeah,
way back. Yeah.
Like on the 360. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was my first introduction. I've played like Lego Lord of the Rings, Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, Lego Harry Potter, Lego Star Wars, like the complete one, which had you wanting to kill yourself by the end if you wanted to 100% that game. Just because they added an extra collectible in there that they never added to any other Lego game after this game. And so, yeah. But I'm just going to say, I read one review that just didn't make sense to me around like, it was too simple. Lego games aren't meant to be overly complex, right?
Right.
They enable two people to play the game with each other. And so I'm like, I don't know what you were expecting. Like, they're meant to be light-hearted versions of whatever other game they're like emulating off. They and then they went on to complain around this not actually sort of expanding the universe of the Horizon IP. Like, it didn't add to this. Like, this seemed like a pointless game. And I'm like, but it's not pointless because it's not marketed at you. It's marketed at people who probably aren't going to play the other Horizon games just yet. Maybe they're too young, who knows? Or people who just want to have a bit of fun and play co-op with each other, whether you're playing it on Switch or PlayStation or PC or anything like that. Like, that's the reality. And so some of these reviews I read, I was just like, I think you missed the brief of what this game actually is. Don't get me wrong, 71 is not a horrible score, but it's also not a great score. And I just expected it to probably hit like a 75 minimum. But yeah, sorry, Holly, I feel like I was cutting you off. What were you going to say?
No, I was totally agreeing with you. I mean, these games aren't meant to expand the Horizon universe, any universe of any game.
Or add to it at all in any way.
Yeah,
right?
It's supposed to just do a cute, fun spin
on
an existing story, right?
Yeah.
And do goofy things with it, have the Lego humor, which is good humor usually.
It is good humor. Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. So I didn't see what all the guff was about why this game had come in so poor. That's not good feedback though. Just honestly, right? And I mean, I feel like Horizon might be a little bit of a harder sell for the Lego franchise because
I agree.
It's just not a large, massive everybody IP, right?
No.
Like Indiana Jones or Star Wars. Everybody has watched that. Everybody knows it. Everybody
is around
interested.
for 30 odd years, you know,
right.
like
yes,
an established, well-known IP, 100%.
That's outside of just gaming, right?
Yeah,
to bring in people who are casual and all that stuff too, right?
To go along with what you're saying, it's kind of like, what you guys are saying is that these are established, the other ones, the Batmans, the Indiana Jones, and all that stuff, and everyone can relate to all the different locations and all the little quips, and no one knows about this. That's just it. I mean, if you throw in a Batman, Gotham because you've seen every damn Batman movie. If you watch Indiana Jones, you know all the different set pieces, for those who know Indiana Jones, so you're familiar with the humor, you're familiar with the pacing, you're familiar with a lot of the storylines, all these different things that go into the franchise, and just to introduce something fresh.
It is very
like
colorful
this,
game, though. Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't know this, it's probably hard to get into even the humor. Well,
Be nice.
No humor.
100%. If this was an Xbox game, though, it probably wouldn't have got a 71.
Oh no.
That 71 would have been too high for an Xbox game.
Well, when you just read through some of the reviews, you're looking at where they are now for the 70 or for even the 80s, mid 80s or whatnot.
Well, it's not
And
even
it's not like
scoring
they have
well in
great
relation to
reviews.
other Lego games either. Some other Lego games are definitely sitting higher up. But like it's sitting in the it's fun. You're not going to take it too seriously. I'm going to pick it up when it's on sale.
Mhm.
Because I do want to try this game. I do love Lego games, I'll be honest. They just have a lovely little warm
Charm.
safe spot in my brain, wherever it is, that I just love to try and play these games. Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome, Dreadpool. Welcome, Dreadpool. Nero, anything you want to add to this other than Lego games are trash?
Nah, man. It just seems like Sony can't stop tripping over their own feet. Man, a couple lackluster releases to end the year. I knew this game was for someone. Uh, you and Soul, and probably about the six other fans of
Hey,
Horizon as a
Soul gets to play
franchise.
co-op with his daughter in that game. It's
Yeah, look,
perfect.
I can't wait to have me a little baby girl so I can use that excuse to get out of enjoying med games. If I played
Dang.
Ratchet and Clank with my daughter, I would come on here swinging, like, singing the praise from the moon. Like,
I love
yo,
you,
it was
Nero.
such a bonding experience, yo. Like the way Ratchet fur looks on his PS5 Pro, man. Like my daughter loved it, but no, I mean, it seems dope, man. Like I say, Lego games not for me. I really do want to give the Horizon franchise another shot. I really do. It's not gonna be through
Full
Lego.
Ponybot. Full
I mean,
Ponybot.
I do
Right?
like. I look
Right, yeah.
because sometimes you have to grow with games, and after playing Spider-Man 2 and Platinum in it, I think that the energy I've been given to Horizon need to be transferred over to Spider-Man 2 until I go back and revisit Horizon and see if it is as bad as I remember, man. But that game was just boring as fuck, and this comes from somebody that absolutely loved Death Stranding. So Horizon is a weird one for me, man.
Nira, I
The
really wish
entire
you would
world.
just like tone down the politeness and tell us what you really feel because
Yeah.
The game fucking like who asked for this, man? Like who asked for this shit, man? Like
Nobody
besides
asked
Soul and
for it.
Panda
But that's
coming on
what
this
they gave
podcast,
us.
who asked for this, man? Like I'm so serious. Like nobody woke up and said, "Yo, a God of War Lego game, please, I'll take it." A Ghost of Tsushima Lego game,
you know what?
genius.
You know what nobody asked for? Genital jousting, and people love that game. Okay, so
Did you
like,
say
That's true.
you
genital
never
jousting?
know. It is a hilarious game. Have you never seen that? It's a PC game.
No, it's a PC game. No, Farming Simulator right now cracked like almost 200K concurrent views
Yeah,
on
see, you
PC, and I'm
never
like, yo,
know.
you
You
never
never
know. You
know.
literally never know.
People want a farming simulate. That's what they want to do. You know?
The thing is, I think Sony just thinks that the Horizon universe and the Horizon games are just their next Last of Us, right?
Mhm.
Like I feel like they really do. They love this
Herman
universe.
Hulse definitely thinks that.
Yes. Yes. And it's not a bad IP. I think they did some really cool things with the first story. I haven't played the second one, but I platinumed the first one.
See, when people like Blue say that, it makes me feel like I need to go give the game another chance without being
Give what
called a
game?
pony bot.
What
What
I
game,
will
Blue?
say, the first Horizon. I can never
Horizon
remember
Zero
the two.
Dawn.
Thank you, because the
The
names.
first one was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Forbidden
was
West
really
is
good.
the one that a lot
The
of people
story
had.
is good. It has too much Ubisoft style bloat in it, you know,
Okay.
with the war,
That's
like
kind of
the
what ran me
side
off.
stuff. I did it all. I platinumed it. You know, I really enjoyed the game, but I also don't think it has. It's just missing that special intrinsic value, right? That you can't quite put your finger on. You just know it just doesn't have it.
Something that just hits you, and you're like, I'm
Yes.
now
I tell you what
super
does have
invested
that.
in this
God of
game.
War. I have to walk back that slander. God of War 2018. I don't know if it's because I just grew a little bit, but I've been playing that, and maybe it's just the quality of the headset I'm using. When Kratos say boy and he give Atreus them lessons, I feel it down in my bones, man. So I walk back a little bit of that slander. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. I just am saying like the world is good. I think the game series is good enough to do, an incremental
Well,
or
yeah, and I think
a piece, every once in a while. But the way
I
they're doubling down on it, I don't think it necessarily has the mass appeal quite like
but
they
I
want it
mean, they
to.
need to make some changes in order for it to have that mass appeal. Like, from what I've watched of people playing the game, from what I've heard from everyone else around it, it just and I think this is not just this game. I think there are plenty of games currently that are completely guilty of just not being real enough around what would being in this world actually be like. And it's just some of the games that we talk about playing that we love have some of the best writing, the best characters, the best things where you're just blown your mind and that you feel so invested in what you're playing because they've made it come to life for you. There are a lot of games that I feel just aren't quite hitting that mark for you to go, I could believe that in another reality this world might be possible. Like, and both Nero and I love Mass Effect, but the writing in Mass Effect, the characters in Mass Effect, what is happening, the way they did the world building there, everything works so well together. And there is a reason why people celebrate N7 Day every year. There's a reason why they are wanting to keep investing in that IP, and they're wanting to do this new Mass Effect game. But there are so many games that aren't. You're just walking around and going, oh yeah, I played that game, and then you just move on and you kind of forget about it. There are games aren't hitting the way they should be, and I think there's plenty of reasons why. But I think Horizon could have been a great, even better IP if they were willing to lean more into some of the drama that could be in that world.
Ironically, I think I think the first Horizon, the story was actually phenomenal. Like where the very rare thing that I think that was the misstep in the first one is the fact that I am all about open world games all the time. Like I love them. But ironically, I think the open world aspect of Horizon was one of the biggest problems because the story itself was really good. You should have to play through a narrative linear edition of that story, and then it opens up the whole world for you to be able to do, the all of the open world stuff afterwards. I think that would have sold that game in a very different way because the actual main story is great. It just gets lost in all of this open world stuff that they had.
I would agree.
I I think you're right. I think you're 100% right in that respect. And that's why I feel like a lot of people just weren't that sold with Forbidden West. It just didn't have the same hype or same love behind that game
And you
as
didn't
compared
have
to
that
what they set it
story
up.
in your head to go,
Yeah.
oh, I need to play the next one, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and when it released, it kind of had a lot of glitches and needed a lot of
Yeah.
work with it for a lot of people, and I think that really just turned a lot of people away who, like myself, who did pick up the game. I got into it. I was having troubles getting past like an early stage. It just kept glitching out, and I kind of tapped out, and then I never went back to it, and it just kind of sat there, you know. And so I didn't even really get a chance to get into it to see how I would really like it if the story was comparable or whatnot. It looked good. The first early action sequences were pretty dope, I thought, but just one part I couldn't literally climb over something, and I was just like, "What the hell is this?" And I just stopped. But I'll just tell you this: it wasn't as bad. It was. This just tells you when you like something, you will give it a chance, right? Kind of like relationships. Right? You do a lot
You're
of
not
dumb
wrong.
shit, right? Yeah. You
Yeah.
keep
Yeah.
bumping. Yeah, everybody's like, yep. You just keep running into that same damn wall that is not moving. But anyway, Watch Dogs 3, when it released, excited. I'm hyped. I'm
Talking
ready.
about
I'm
Legion?
going. Legion. Yeah, Legion. And it I was so excited to play, and I said, man, I'm ready to get into this. And then but the save system was not there.
Mm.
It wasn't there. So literally it would kind of do an auto save, but then
Mm.
if you didn't kind of constantly go back, it was a weird funky thing that just negated all of your work. And it was just like, I can't believe it. I literally got a refund and bought it again because I was like, I can't do this, and it was an issue, but it was something about the game, and I think it's because I really enjoyed Watch Dogs 2, and so I was looking forward to this one. You could jump around, play as any
You're talking
character.
about like you comparing things to relationships, but there's like relationships where you're like, keep hurting me and I keep coming back, and I
That's what I'm
don't know why
saying.
I
It's
keep
abusive,
coming back. Like
and
this
so
is
that I was like, I
abusive.
don't
Like
know
That's
why
me
why I
do
with
you keep
keep
doing
doing
Assassin's
it.
Creed.
Right? Yeah, and but I just kept giving it a try, and I didn't have the same energy for
I
Horizon
finished
2.
Legion.
Oh, yeah, I finished it and I
Yeah,
liked it. Yeah,
I liked it. It wasn't
yeah, I finished
amazing,
it. I
but
liked
it
it.
wasn't a horrible game. I
Hey, but
wouldn't call it a Watch Dogs experience.
it did feel totally different from Watch Dogs. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially with Aiden, but it was dope. They had some parts though that looked. A lot of the game looked really, really good. Some of it you were like,
Well, the opening mission in the game, like the way they set the tone for what is coming, I was like, I'm intrigued.
yeah.
And then the story didn't continue to intrigue me.
Yeah, and for me, then it was just about finishing because I'm
It
like,
was,
yeah,
yeah,
I got to finish the game and I'm good to go. But there were some parts that really looked good, meaning the kind of Chinatown ish area with the dragons
mm,
and all the neon
Mhm.
lights. That really looked good, especially with the ray tracing and whatnot. It did look pretty good with those effects. But other than that, you know,
okay.
it's just abusive. You keep going back to it, and I just didn't go back to
All
Horizon.
right. We've got some. I'm gonna bring us back to the four screen while I prep some stuff in the background. But we've got some last minute, like quick news. Or if you want to just run us through while I do some stuff in the background, if that's okay.
Alrighty, will do. So, GTA Definitive Edition has now been updated on consoles and PC with a lot of improvements after 3 years after its initial release. It has a huge update to the lighting, so it brings back the original classic lighting. Like if you played San Andreas or Vice City back in the day, then you know how crucial the proper lighting in these type of games are. They was not there day one. It was very buggy and just. I got burnt on this because this was the one time Microsoft didn't give me a refund. I pre-ordered this game, and when it came out in the state that it came out, I went to go get a refund, and Microsoft was like, "Nah, not this time, Nero. You got to sit with this one." So, a lot of updates, man. If it goes on sale, I'll probably double dip on another platform that you guys say that I'm now pony. Uh, yeah, so it got a big update, man. I mean, I enjoyed it even back then. You know, even with all the problems and stuff like that. I'm just a stand for San Andreas, Vice City, and GTA 3. So yeah, that update is live now, and you got to talk about Dragon Quest, the HD 2D. It surpassed 43K concurrent players on Steam, making it's officially the biggest launch for Square Enix on that platform. So that's really dope, and I believe it had like a 83 or 84 on Metacritic. And I just want to use
Decent
this to
game, yeah.
say, haha. I seen a couple of JRPG people just hating on Veilguard. Like, yo, that game got so many haters from every direction. You got the obviously quote unquote anti woke crowd that's just wanting to see the game fail. Then you got the people that's true Dragon Age fans. That's just, it's just not what they're used to. Then you got people from other RPG genres was hating on it as well. And I'm just like, yo, it can't catch a break. So seeing this come out and get around the same Metacritic as the Veilguard is funny, man. So shout out
Yeah.
to both games. And last piece of quick news: the PS5 Pro outsells the PS4 Pro during its launch week in Japan. Week one sales for the PS5 Pro was 78,086, and the PS4 Pro in that same span was 65,194.
Ooh.
People are tired of playing blurry games, and that is proof.
Interesting. That's quite interesting around like the price difference. I mean, the sale difference. Obviously, it's a much higher priced console. But I also think a lot of people were for the Pro, the PS4 Pro. The announcement of that was announced after the One X, so a lot of people just there was a deflation around the excitement for that console versus the fact there's nothing going up against the PS5 Pro. So people who want that, and hopefully it's people who haven't even got a PS5. Hopefully it's people who are upgrading. I mean, yeah, upgrading from last gen and didn't want a PS5 at the time, but are happy to get a Pro. All right, are we ready to get into some main topics? Are
Yes.
we? Yes. Anyone want to add anything to those sale figures for the Pro outselling in Japan? Is anyone surprised by that?
I was gonna say I'm not surprised. I said it last week. I say it again. The Series S was made fun of all generation. Only for the PlayStation 5 base is now equivalent. It's basically Sony's version of the Series S. The Pro, I definitely highly recommend the Pro. I was arguing with a PC guy in the Twitter space yesterday. I rarely go on him, but I said, let me go. And one of the homies was hosting one. And he was trying to tell me why it's not worth it upgrading from the PS5 to the PS5 Pro. And I told him I'm only going to argue that from a hardcore gamer perspective. I'll never argue for any casual gamer to go get the Series X over the S or to go get the Pro over the PS5. That's not who I'm talking to. But if you consider yourself a hardcore gamer, that's a no-brainer. Who don't want more frames in Helldivers, better resolution in Helldivers 2? Who don't want better frame rate performance in Wukong? The Pro is pretty much proven that the PS5, for as good as a console that it is, for people who really like it and enjoy their games, it was underbaked since day one. They had the patch in VRR support. They had the patch in 1440p support. I never had a gaming console patch in basic features that should have been supported out of the box day one. So I'm Team Pro PS4 Pro, man. Good for them.
Good for them.
Good for them.
All right. You know where I stand on this. Everyone knows where I stand on that.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, next topic. And hopefully this video likes me today, that it'll play. And everything works the way I want it to work, etc., etc. Okay. Well, we had quite a good week this week. Oh my god! See, stoned. Fuck. We had a great week for being a gamer, especially a Game Pass gamer.
You need some water. Why don't you take a drink? You got that dry ass tongue right now.
No, I've just got my brain can't put a sentence together, apparently. Yeah,
gotcha.
Apparently. It's like, I think I know what I'm going to say next, but then the words are like, give us a minute, we're still pushing them out. But yeah, we had a deep dive for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. And I am so fucking happy about this. I watched this about 4 or 5 times, to the point now where I'm like, why is it not December yet? I want to play this game yesterday. I'm a massive Indiana Jones fan, but I'm going to throw to Soul. Did you watch this? Were you excited? Were there anything that you caught your eye and you're like, I'm so glad, because I know you are more of a third person gamer and this is in first person. So yeah, that's why I'm throwing to you, because I want to see what your thoughts are on this game.
Okay, so guys, it pains me to say this. I'm so happy as of right now that it's in first person and not third. Because if it was third,
I agree.
They would compare this shit to Uncharted and even Tomb Raider. Uncharted first, because that gives you more console war material, right? Being that that's first party. But I'm so glad it's not, because it is adding something different and unique to the genre. And you don't get a lot of these really good kind of stealth first person, it's not a super action game. If you know Indiana Jones, you're gonna get big set pieces. You're gonna get some action, but he ain't running around like Call of Duty, just trying to shoot every damn body. I mean, not with a damn six shooter. I mean, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so I think what they're doing, and I absolutely love it, is they're trying to make it as realistic as far as the movie is concerned as possible. When you watch that deep dive and if you know Indiana Jones, then every frame, every movement, whoever is actually doing the mocap for the actual character, they had to have studied Harrison Ford in these movies, because the
What's the
action,
name?
unless
Who
they're
voiced
taking
it?
things,
Who voiced
I
it?
don't know what
What's
they're
his name?
doing, but when I tell you the small, very nuanced movements, it is like watching the damn movie. And the fact that he actually sounds pretty much like Harrison Ford at that age is unbelievable. It's
Um,
it's 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 incredible. I can go on, but let me
Someone in
pause.
the chat, if you can put the name of the guy who's voicing Indy, because
Is it
he did
Troy
the
Baker?
mocap.
Troy
Oh,
Baker.
there you go, Troy Baker. He did the mocap.
So he actually did. Hey,
Yeah.
you know what? Right now, just from what I am seeing, give that man an award, because it's Harrison Ford on the screen. It is really Harrison, and I'm not coming from a place of any Xbox fanboy type thing. No, this is a Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones fanboy type deal. This is the movie that put Harrison Ford on the map as far as a
He went
huge.
worldwide on
He can
this. It
carry
went
a movie
everywhere.
star,
Yeah.
because he didn't get that kind of love from Han Solo, and he didn't get that, and people noticed him first with American Graffiti. Good movie.
Yeah.
Please go back
Yeah.
and watch it. But this is the one where you really saw like Han Solo 2.0 for the most part. Very similar, but as you get to know Harrison Ford in these movies, hell, he wasn't acting. That's just him. When you really start watching these different movies, that's Harrison Ford. So I'm really excited. I love everything that I've seen so far. Um, I know that Nero has some thoughts about the game itself and then the gameplay that he's seen so far. But I'm trying to take off the rose-colored glasses, and I'm going about thinking about what he had mentioned maybe earlier this week or last week or whatnot. And I can't say that I necessarily see it, but I don't play a lot of these type of games in first person, so maybe he can look at it through a lens that I just can't see. So everything looks nice and smooth for me. Like if I got this game tomorrow, you wouldn't hear from me
Mm-hmm.
until it's finished. Like
Mm-hmm.
with all achievements, even if they're stupid achievements, I'm trying to get them because I'm that big of an indie fan. I love what they've shown us. The locales look great. Graphically, it looks really, really dope. I really want to see what these bigger set pieces are going to look like and how the environment plays a great deal into this game. It looks like it's going to be a big part of it and how you interact with it. Um, I'm really excited. I really don't have, I have too much to say, but I need to stop. How about that?
That's okay. No, you're all good. All good.
Because I'll probably like fanboy through the whole thing.
You and I
That's
think,
not
are
what I
gonna
want to
be
do.
like when this game comes out, we've played it all the way through. We're just gonna be on a party chat, just
Yeah.
talking for hours about this game. Holly, what about yourself? How you managed to watch I think it was like 15 minutes. I feel like it was 15 minutes. Yeah, it was. I'm
Yeah.
getting confused between South and Midnights, which is like 30 minutes. But yeah, are you excited more than you were, or are you like, stop showing the game, you've shown too much, we need this in our hands? What are your thoughts? Are you even an indie fan? I don't even know. Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't like Indiana Jones, right? Like, he's kind of just an everyman man, right? Uh it's plus like the setting. I don't know. I particularly have like a real interest in stuff from World War II era. I don't know. I'm very, very fascinated by World War II and the period that around it, a little bit before it, all that stuff, right? Which is right in the money spot of where this game and these movies come from. So the overly hammy, cheesy, Nazis that are always in the indie stuff is just perfection. Like they
Yeah.
have the
They're little
comic book.
caricatures of themselves, though. It's so good.
Yes. And even like in the preview or just the little, trailer that we saw at the June showcase, right? The Nazi
Yeah.
with the and like laughing and dancing. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And you're like, they really needed to show that then. And it's a good thing that they did, right? Because
Yeah.
indie is known to have these like off the wall
Extra.
kind of goofy, and that was the perfect amount of goofy and not dumb or, bad. It was perfect. So that's great. It's interesting as much as I like indie and Temple of Doom is the best one. I will hear nothing otherwise. It is, as much as I love those movies, for the game I was just like, okay, I'll play it. I've never been like, I can't wait to play this game. I'm just like, yeah, when it comes, I'll play it. Right? Like there are other games that I get more excited about. What I will say is that Cole Eastwood went and did the preview, right? He went to the event that they did, like Mr. Boomstick did and some other
Which is
people.
probably what this gameplay is based off, right? They're not
Partially. They got to
Yeah.
actually go and play
it, yeah.
a certain mission in Giza, and it
Mhm.
was anyway, they talk about it. They could talk about it now, right? Everybody went to that preview. And the thing that's come out of it that got me more excited about it is that they compared it to a bunch of different things, but they
Mhm.
also said it has a hint of Dishonored in it, and Dishonored
Yeah.
is my second favorite game of like all time. I love those games. And I like stealth, like well done stealth, and it's very hard to find well done stealth. And
Did
so,
you
and
ever
it's
play
not
Thief?
all. What's that?
Did you ever play Thief?
No, it's been on my list for like forever, right? Because everybody talks about Thief. I
mean,
hear
it's
great.
it's stealth. Like, if you love stealth, you're gonna love that game.
Yeah,
It's like stealth central.
Okay.
Mm.
It's anyway, so I was excited to hear, and they talked about the fact that like you only have so many bullets, right? If you pick up a gun off the ground off of a dead Nazi or something, you use it, then the gun's empty, and there's a prompt where you can turn the gun in your hand and use it like a bat, right? And then you smack somebody and then the gun will break apart, and like just really like that's a lot of detail, right? That's really
Yeah,
cool just to know
a
that they
lot.
took attention to that. And they said that even what was really nice was that you could see the hands doing things instead of like, when you reload, you might just have the gun below, right? And you don't actually see, and then the gun pops up, right? And it's reloading.
When
ready
you
to
open
go,
a
that
door,
kind
it
of
just
stuff.
opens, but their hand reaching out for the.
Yes, that
I
kind of
was
stuff
watching
is
you
in there.
the other day. I feel like on your show.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I feel like that's
Yeah.
it. No, I was watching you creepily outside your window.
She flew all the way over here.
Didn't even bother to say hi. Just
Sorry, it's-
creepily
yeah,
watching at the window.
That's the next trip, right?
Yeah, I'll get the courage up to knock on the door.
yeah. It's all right. Anyway, so moral of the story is I am also one that when I know I'm gonna play a game, I don't really want to see anything else, right?
Mhm.
Once my mind is like, okay, I'm gonna play this, I don't want to see anything, I don't want to know anything. Please don't tell me. I watch a lot of these deep dives just because we do this, right? But if we didn't do this podcasting thing, I would happily
You'd go
not
blind.
watch these so that I would be surprised by a lot of
Mhm.
stuff,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
So, I would just say that very
I agree with
happily
you there, Holly.
so. Yes, right? Like very happily so. I feel like this game has gotten like more potential instead of seeing some things that make you go, oh, well, I don't know about that. Or, this looks great, but, right? Everything just is kind of like falling into place as like better and better hype.
I mean,
Yeah.
from what I've seen of this, it looks like they've really taken the time to look at the details, to look at like your inventory and sort of what relationship that has with you, the way the camera is introduced to be used in the game. It's not about photo mode and all of this. It's about actually because no
Being
one,
that person.
yeah, it's like the camera's there,
Yeah.
zoom in on something, and then like get a bit more information about it. Like there's a little bit, like they've really thought about that side of it, and because there's plenty of games where they give you a camera and they're like, take photos. Never take any fucking photos.
No.
And I'm like, if you make it something where it's actually part of an important piece of like figuring things out, and that's what I like about like the puzzle elements here is like, I do hate games that if you wait too long, characters around you, or the game's like, need a hint. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, just leave
Yeah.
me alone. I would like to figure it out
Yes.
myself. Like, if I
Mhm.
need a hint, I'll come to you for the hint. Do not prompt me. And that's what I like about the introduction of the camera is like, if I need a hint, I have a tool available in game that is part of that character and doesn't break any immersion or anything. And it's useful for what it's designed for and its purpose. And I am so excited. The more I've seen about this, yes, I do wish we could play it. And I'm like of the same mindset with you, Holly, around like, I wouldn't watch a lot of these if I had thought like I want to go in a bit blind. I just want to go and experience it. But because we do the show every week, I do need to watch these things. And so there, like, this is a game in which I would love to go in blind, but I do admit some of the stuff seeing it, I've been like, you keep selling me on why this is more indie than other Indiana Jones games.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's like jumping into the cinema, like on screen and getting a chance to actually control Harrison Ford. And that's what I do like about the first person. And I know there was so much debate about first person versus third person when this game was first announced.
Yeah.
And people like, I like third person, but I was like, I actually don't care that it's in first person because I think the way you're doing the puzzles and interacting with the world, they want you to be indie. And part of that is just your hands and all of that showing up on screen rather than third person. And I think they do cut to third person well, so you still get those moments where you're like, that's right, I am playing as indie. This is so cool. But they're really good at first person games. And I think for this genre, and we'll get to figure it out when we play the game, I think they've probably hit it out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they've hit it out of the park.
Me too.
As an indie fan, through and through, I really do. I really do. Oh,
Yeah.
I need a replay while we're talking about that. Okay. Nero.
I was excited for this game just because I'm a fan of Machine Games. I love their games. I love what they do. They do first person games extremely well, and that's why I was kind of let down seeing that this is first person because I was just hoping to see something different from them. Like Indiana Jones is different enough for them. Versus Wolfenstein, the gameplay is slowed down. There's a bigger emphasis on stealth, even though those things was there in the Wolfenstein series as well. I feel like this game just slowed down a lot. So me personally, I felt like, hey, it would have been dope seeing one of my favorite developer studios just take a step outside and do something completely different, which they are still doing with Indiana Jones because it's, a difference from that and Wolfenstein. I would argue a stark difference from what I've seen. But I mean, it looked cool to me, man. This is one of them games I agree with Blue. Like, I don't need to see more of because for me, it's the opposite. The more I see of it, the more I shrug it off. I'm personally way more excited for Stalker 2. I've been saying it all year. That is what I'm excited to jump into. But I'm happy I got Game Pass. I'm excited to check this out. To give it a little context, I have never watched the Indiana Jones movie, so that probably plays a huge role. But to be fair, I have Disney Plus as of recently, so I will watch the movies for you, Panda, and for you,
Just the
Blue.
first
Just the
three.
first three, okay. People
Just the
said the
first
same thing
three.
about RoboCop. They was like, "Yo, just watch the first two, man. Everything else don't exist."
I'm like that with like Terminator. Just watch 1 and 2 and watch like the last one that they did. Where they bring
So
back Linda Hamilton. Other than that, you don't need to watch any other Terminator movie.
I think graphically it looked good, and with them already announcing that it's going to be on PS5 next year, I'm interested to see what it's going to look like on the PS5 Pro. How much more are they going to improve the game on the opposing
Agreed, Presley.
platforms? I would like to see what they do as far as that. But the game looks dope, man. It looks cool. Like I said, it was just some aspects of it that look clunky, him using the whip and stuff like that. But maybe once I go watch the movies and get a better understanding for him and his character deeper, which I plan to do.
Eastside Vandal
look
called you
forward
out, man.
he said,
He's
"How
told
the
you to
fuck
leave
did
the
you know?"
podcast, go watch the movies, then
Look,
join us next week. Just
Listen,
kidding.
listen. The amount of people that haven't watched The Wire is diabolical. So the way you asked me that right there is the same way I ask people like Reese in the chat that has not watched The Wire, even though he's from Philly, Kingston in Philly to be exact. If you know, you know. I don't know how you didn't watch that show. Please tell me you watched that show before Blue. At least one episode.
I actually own the first season. Well, I have Max now, but like I've owned the box set of the first season for like years, and I did start it a couple times, but I don't know if it just didn't snag me right away. Although it's supposed to
It definitely
be,
take a moment to grow on you for
yeah,
sure.
okay.
And then the
Okay.
second season it kind of slows down because it's more from the cop perspective and stuff.
And then Oz came out of the Wire later. Is that right?
I think so. I'm not sure.
Okay. I mean,
I
I need to
feel
watch it. It's always on my
like-
list of one day I'll get to it, right?
I feel like I've watched something of this at some point, but
Probably the memes. It got a lot of memes based on the show.
Interesting. All right, sorry, Indy.
But yeah, overall about Indy, I think it looks dope. I think it looks cool. I'm definitely gonna check it out. I just don't want to pretend like I'm super excited for it when I haven't been all year. I was like, okay, dope. Microsoft got a really
Well, you
killer
don't have the
album.
affinity to the IP, so I kind of
Yeah,
understand that.
yeah.
Definitely understand that.
I will say this is selfish as me, but I was Avowed was my back half Xbox most anticipated game. Outside of Stalker 2, that's not first party, of course, but Avowed was what I was banking on, man. So Avowed being delayed because a quote unquote busy cycle. But what about if all these games is not for the people that was subscribed and looking for Avowed? You know what I'm saying? What about people that was only here for Avowed, but now they're first to play Indiana Jones and fucking Black Ops? Maybe. So I just don't want Xbox to continue doing that. I get, it'd be busy time schedules and shit, but if you promise them something, hey man, deliver it. You got all these studios. There's gonna be times where games step on other games' toes, but with Game Pass, isn't that the whole point? You get to sit back and play games at your own pace. It's in the subscription forever. So yeah, that's
but
my
I
take
think I
on
do want to
Indiana
give some of
Jones.
those games some air to really, really push out and encourage people to continuously.
Panda, what is you
keep
playing right now
subbing.
that you would rather be playing over Avowed right now that you're currently playing?
What am I playing right now that I'd rather be playing over Avowed? Indy, I'll be honest. I'll play that over Avowed now because I can't play Avowed just yet. But what am I playing right now? I don't think there's anything. I'm really excited for Avowed. Like, I love Obsidian as a studio, and I think they do some of the funniest fucking trailers ever. And I'm super excited for like Outer Worlds 2. Like, I can't wait for that either.
Hold on,
I
one
think,
sec, guys.
I think
I got
Obsidian is
something.
such a good studio. But yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited because I'm like, am I going to spend the money to play it 5 days early? Probably yes. I'm going to be that person. Because I can, and it's my fucking money. But yeah. That's the reality. Am I going to wait? No. FOMO will get to me, and I won't be able to stop myself from playing Avowed and paying to play it slightly early. But yeah. Okay. All right. I'm gonna just quickly make some changes of the video because I think our next topic, if I am a memory, South of Midnight. So I'm just going to change that. Give me a second in the background while I do that. So, yeah. They had a 30-minute documentary of South of Midnight that really expanded on the whole IP story, the creation, the characters, the music, everything around what has gone into making this game, including the fact that it is on UE4. And they did confirm if they had to put it to UE5, it would delay the release of this game. Obviously, there's no release date. My thoughts is 2025 at the latest 2026. But I'm gonna throw to Nero because you were last, Nero, on our last topic. Are you excited for South of the Midnight? I'm gonna put the gameplay up in a second. Did you watch the 30-minute documentary around this game? Has he disappeared on me?
You talking to me? I just got back. I had to step away.
All right. Well, I'm going to talk. Well, that's okay. You'll catch up, Nero.
I'm sorry. I don't know if you heard me earlier. I was like, I got to separate real quick.
You snooze. You yeah. Holly jumped in. Holly, what are your thoughts on the 30-minute documentary about this game? Did you watch it?
So I think I'm one of like 3 people who, when this came out as the trailer, I really like Compulsion. I think they do really cool things and they do really unique things on the side. I did not love the intro trailer that we saw this summer about it. I don't know. It just didn't quite hit as maybe, a game that I would be excited for. I'm going to play it. It's on Game Pass. It's Compulsion. And I think that they're doing a lot of really interesting things. But the issues that I had originally were like, I really like stop motion animation, but I thought that the timing in their stop motion in the trailer this summer felt a little off. But then
still a work in progress.
Right. But then I saw that this time though, or in this announcement or in this thing, that you can turn off the stop motion during the gameplay. It'll still be there for the cutscenes, but if you get sick from stop motion or you don't like it, whatever the case is, you could turn that off as part of the gameplay. So that's an interesting feature that they're adding for people. I did not love the combat scene that they showed in the trailer.
The one with that giant alligator, or
yeah, I did. I just didn't. I don't know. It just didn't quite resonate with me, and there's nothing that I can like point to exactly and say like this really bothered me. It's just kind of a combination. But all that being said, I'm still more than happy to give it a chance because I think that there's a very large potential that it could be a great game. It just doesn't. It's not on my list. It's not on my list of games I'm excited for. I just put it that way, right? But
it's games on your list, which is like it's coming to Game Pass. It's on that list. It's on that
coming
list. To Game Pass.
It is, and they could change my mind, but this deep dive did not really change my mind.
Change your mind?
No, it did not. But one of the things that I did appreciate is the fact that they said that there was they're based in Montreal. There was an art studio in Montreal that they went and visited personally to work on like the actual like claymation style art that they're using. And I thought that was a really interesting like way to just kind of show, and they didn't go into it very much. I was interested in knowing more about that, about, how they got a collaboration with physical artists, right? And how that they take that and they mold it into the actual gameplay. But we'll see. I think it has a lot of potential to be really great. Compulsion, though, has had other games that looked like absolute bangers, like We Happy Few.
I know.
The concept for that.
Facts.
The art, everything about that game said this is exactly the game for me, right?
And then
Then when I played it, it
the
falls
survival
short.
fucking mechanics. What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, they weren't very compromising, right? Um no. They
No.
were pretty tough. So anyway, it just I hope this game doesn't kind of have that same like everything's here, all of the right stuff is here and it just doesn't quite come together the way that it should
Mm.
because I do think Compulsion's a really good studio.
I think they're a really good studio as well, and some of their games in the past have the concept and the idea and what they're trying to do with them have been really, really cool and neat. And the moment Phil announced the acquisition of Compulsion, I was like, obviously he'd seen what they were working on, and I'm like, I can't wait to see what they're working on. And then they spent a lot of time in the background, like upgrading their studio and hiring people. Like they moved location, and so that I feel like a lot of those things have pushed this game out on where it probably would have released maybe a year or 2 years ago, but they had so many other things that they were doing during that transition of being acquired by Microsoft and Xbox. But yeah, I think they're a fantastic studio as a whole. Soul, hear from your lovely soul there on this game. What did you think of this this documentary? Oh, why can't I hear you? Can't hear you.
It's because I didn't
You're
unmute
muted.
myself. Yeah, see, funny story here. When I stepped
Ooh.
away from the screen to try to get something to eat or get it going right, I had to step over to the restroom, but I forgot I had my earbuds in, and whatever reason, I kept thinking that I was speaking through the earbuds, and I'm like, oh my god, I know they heard that. I'm like, I'm thinking like, oh, they heard that. That's horrible. But yeah, so I had to make a change because they dialed out anyway. We are on the opposite. We couldn't be any more on opposite ends, Blue, of how excited I am for this game. There's so much in just the art, the stop motion, the story that we're getting so far, or the elements of. In the documentary, I just loved how they really talked about the different places they went to in various regions of the South. And if you noticed, they weren't just speaking that it was just, let's say, like Louisiana, because I think once we all saw it, most people probably thought, oh, they're in Louisiana or somewhere thereof. So they're going to different locations in the game as well to give you some different environments. So I'm really digging that. I like how it's going to be coming from a perspective of this character because it's going to add a little bit more to the lore, to the mystique. And I think they're probably going to be bringing in a lot of the culture, into this game. The culture of the South is past and is present. So I am really interested to see how they weave that into the story. It's almost like, just from where they're going, I think they're going to add some of that in there in the lore. And so I'm really interested to see how they do that story wise. I like the fact that they've already said that there's a lot of different folk in this game. I hope that they really hit on the Creole people as well, because I think making a game and it has they said they're going to get down to New Orleans, so they did say that, and we know they are in some swampy areas in Louisiana. So to leave out the people from that makes up a great deal of their history, will kind of be a disservice. And I know that they've taken the time to actually go to these places, talk to the people, get that lore that's been passed down so they can integrate it into the game, into the story, especially with all of the different creatures that they're going to be basing these things off of. Because I remember I reached out to Compulsion and I just kind of, asked about the Rougarou, and and they were like, they pretty much said that the Rougarou version of would be there, and I just thought that's so cool because they're going to be incorporating all these different things. So now with the action, I'm there with you as when the first little deal that they showed when the alligator was kind of chasing her, not here, but I'm talking about in the first trailer when they were kind of more or less say like in this little
Showed
area.
us a bit of gameplay, yeah.
Yeah, they gave us a little bit of gameplay. And the thing that I liked about it, that it didn't look like it was God of War. Shit's flying everywhere. You're just doing all this incredible stuff, So I want to see what reality that they're basing this combat in, and then just trying to factor in that it's a kid and not a god. You know what I mean? Or someone with like a Batman with gadgets and he's flipping and shooting. Yeah, it's a
she's a
kid, young
weaver,
adult,
young
right? Yeah,
kid,
she's a
yeah.
weaver. So, what kind of skills will she acquire that maybe will go into the overall combat and the aesthetic of it? I guess we'll have to see. But I can agree, when they first showed it, it wasn't as smooth as possible, in comparative to some other games that kind of maybe would fall into the genre, or that action piece. But I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. It looks impressive. I can't wait to hear the music. I can't wait to. The music is going to be. I'm a big music person, but I think the music is going to like carry the game. Really give you the feel for this game as well. All the ambient sounds. I can go on and on, but I'm so excited about this game. It is really dope that you're getting a game that's being created, um, and going to give us what I think and I hope that they're going to deliver on. So that's where I am with it.
I feel ya. Nero, now that you're hopefully back properly, what was your take on what they showed from South of Midnight? Yeah.
It just pretty much solidified it being one of my most anticipated games of next year. Was excited to see a deeper dive and excited to see like some of the faces behind who's making this,
Yeah.
because I don't want a situation where you're touching on certain cultures and you're touching on certain subjects and shit like that, and you don't have the proper representation. So being able to see this is behind the scenes and seeing the passion. For me, passion equals profit every time when it
Thank
comes
you,
to
because I was going to
devs
say the same thing,
selling
passion.
things to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I can feel the passion in your game and the love in your game, I don't give a fuck if it's a twin stick shooter. One of my favorite games from this generation is The Ascent, a top down twin stick shooter, and I never played twin stick shooters prior. So I think it looked amazing. My most excited aspect of this game is definitely going to be the music and the sound design. Like Brother Soul pointed out, I'm a huge audio fanatic in video games, man. And when it's done right and when it's done well, I will scream from the rooftops. Silent Hill 2 remake, Hellblade 2. When it's done right, man, it can literally carry a video game. Like Soul pointed out, I think the combat looked it cool. Kind of, remind me something basic like, Kenner Bridge of Spirits. It looked it cool. Hazel, her voice actor, fucking gorgeous, yo. Like, pretty woman,
That's
pretty
what you took
voice.
away from the
Yeah,
documentary.
that's what I took away. What I
Mhm.
took away was, damn, she fucking fine. Like, that's exactly what I said. Hey, I'm getting that damn poster on the wall, my gaming wall. But yeah, man, I'm really excited
So
for it.
does the protagonist in our thumbnail.
Yeah, not as good as the one. I personally look better than her when FarQ edited me on personally. That's just me. You know what
There
I'm
you
saying?
go.
But
We'll send that to Xbox and be like, change your marketing
right,
material.
right. But I'm excited, man. The voice acting, the atmosphere, the graphics. Seeing it was UE4, I was like, oh, excuse me, guys. Sorry, didn't want to
Right.
cough in your
Yeah.
ears. Seeing it was UE4, I'm just like, scratch my head. I get it. Devs know best. And of course, UE5 has had its problems. There's always some issues. So this is probably definitely the better option to stick with, UE4 and just a very polished version of that. But I just thought to myself, 4 years into this generation, 3, 4 years into UE5 being hyped into oblivion, I'm yet to really see it translate in the game. So when games like this is still using UE4, it kind of says more about the engine than the devs themselves, in my honest opinion. Um, I'm just all around super excited for this. I'm really happy that the stop motion is able to be turned on or off, especially in gameplay. Because since day one, I've been mixed on it. I don't believe I played a stop motion game before, and if I did, definitely not to this degree. So being able to cut it off is going to be a huge bonus. I would probably leave it on because unless you motion blur or film grain, I usually try to leave the game how the devs delivered it to me just to see their vision. But man, I'm excited, man. One of my most anticipated games, and this documentary just solidified everything I've been thinking about it. Just confirmed a lot of my thoughts.
I mean, I think we all felt the same way about this game after its last showing. I was still excited for it. I just needed to see more because I was like, it just kind of snuffed a little bit of my excitement as I was from its initial first showing. And that's because I don't think we saw that cool character who's like playing on his banjo because that was fucking cool. And then watching this documentary, you can just feel, and you called it 100% there, Nero, the passion that the developers have, the time and energy, the respect that has gone into trying to deliver an authentic world and game from a culture that they may not necessarily know. Because, like they said, they're from Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
And so they
And
went
that
down to
surprised
those
me too when they
locations.
said they was from Montreal. I said, "You're way up that north."
Yeah.
Hey, I'm from Buffalo, New York, so I'm like, "You're way up from that north," and you making a game based on so far south, man. You got to have the right people
Yeah.
to make this work. And from what I've been seeing, they making it work, man.
They're making it work. The music, the fact that they went down there and like worked with musicians from down south.
Mm-hmm.
They filmed all the like sound audio for the, I guess, swamp on just general locations in those locations, so it's authentic. And they spent 6 months of the year filming at different times, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they confirmed that they're targeting 60, right? And we know that this game's nowhere near released just yet, so there is plenty of time for them to finish getting it and optimizing it to 60. But those are the things that like I wanted to hear, and I am now a lot more invested. I feel like that last iteration was a bit of a misstep, and this one's kind of just standing back up again and back on track. I love getting in behind the scenes. I love the dev diaries that like Ninja Theory did with the Hellblade 1 and 2 games. And so any chance to kind of understand a little bit more around what went into this game, and the discourse has changed a little bit. I feel like a lot of people were quite annoyed around the they were talking about what this being a woke or DEI game. And I'm looking at this and going, I don't see that. I see that this is a game that is authentically trying to live up to the characters, the story, the environment, the background, the folklore and folk tales from that particular part of the United States, and what made it so good and so great. And yes, I love the over exaggeration of some of the characters' features, like in the game. And I'm looking at this and just being reminded of different things that I saw and like enjoyed watching. And like I live in New Zealand, right? I have been to the States, but I have not been down south. I have not been to New Orleans. And I haven't been to Louisiana or anything like that. So this is a great way for me to kind of experience that, and for this to kind of be shown outside of what a lot of us see outside America looking in. And so we get another way to kind of understand this culture itself. I don't know. I'm kind of rambling now, but I'm excited, and I'm keen for South of Midnight. Yeah, I'm just ready to play some video games. And the more that you keep telling me on video games, the more I keep subbing to Game Pass. So like, it's keep it coming.
Exactly. And this is just one of those that like I say, I'm really excited for, probably that I know of for next year. Because we're not getting E-Day next year, right? That's probably gonna be a launch title.
Nope. We're not going to eat A next year.
Yeah, yeah,
Nope.
yeah. So yeah, this is probably for me for 2025. This is it. Excited to get into it. I know they've been throwing around maybe April that this might drop, to give about
Hot take.
some breathing room. Uh-oh.
This looks
When
Talk.
better than
Fable,
anything Microsoft has given us first party this year,
I'm trying.
and so do Avowed. That's why Avowed should have been here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
My
Hey
bad, I had to
man.
get that off.
No. Hey, I can't wait for this damn game, man.
I agree
I
to disagree,
absolutely
Nero.
cannot
Agree to
wait.
disagree.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm so sick that Avowed got delayed, yo. Like I think
know,
about it
right?
every time I play Dragon Age of Veilguard. I'd be like, man, I should be playing
Avowed.
Avowed, because I already made up my mind not to get Dragon Age Day One because I was gonna support Avowed
Yeah.
just for it to get. And then you delayed because you say a busy launch cycle just for Assassin's Creed Shadows to get delayed as well. So it's
Hey,
like,
they're a business. They need you to keep subbing enough, so they got to
Yeah,
oh,
litter
they
everything out.
listen.
You know,
I'm
there's-
letting it slide this time, but I'm not gonna lie. It definitely seemed like it's a trend where I always get this roadmap of spectacular shit to come this year, and then it's always one or two big things I look forward to. I get it. First 2-3 years was the year of industry delays. I get it. But to delay a game because you feel like it's a busy cycle, I feel like that's that for one, because you can't guarantee if games gonna get delayed or not, just like Assassin's Creed Shadows did. I fuck with Phil Spencer. I agree with a lot and I disagree with a lot, but this right here, this one thing, like, don't do that. Don't do that, because it is people out there like me that buys Game Pass, stacks up for months, whether it's CD keys or other places. When I was stacking up for a couple months ahead of time, I was stacking up knowing that I'm getting a vow in the back end, in the back of my mind. So after already subbing ahead of time, just to not get something I can't defend that, man. And back on the other shows earlier, I did defend it at first, but as time goes on, for one, I'm more of a Halo guy than COD. So as dope as Black Ops is, it's not really moving a needle for me. I still I'll be playing Black Ops, dealing with the same sweaty shit I deal with in Apex and Halo, and I'm like, yo, I might as well go back over there. You know what I'm saying? No offense to COD, great
I love
game,
COD.
fantastic.
I love COD too, but I also still love fucking Halo. can't mess with Halo. Okay. What is our next topic? Because I'm just going to quickly disappear and I'll be right back. But yeah, what is our next
1 second, I
topic?
got
I'm
you.
just going to quickly move us back to full screen.
I think it's the Phil
Oh,
Spencer
it is.
interview. Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
The Phil Spencer interview, man. Like, yo, you leaving at the wrong time, Panda. Like, I'm not the one y'all want to start this fucking
I've
topic
drunk.
right
I'm
here.
really sorry.
I'm not the one to start the topic. I started, but
Truth be told, I'm over here. I can hear this air fryer going, and I'm over here like, please hurry up, please hurry up, please hurry up, because my stomach is going off. I'm like, yeah, hurry up. I'm ready for that ding so I can go in there and grab a bite. Nero, get into it, man.
all right, man. So Phil Spencer interview with Bloomberg. Some of the key points. Microsoft is still looking for acquisitions in the gaming space. They are planning a handheld, but it's still a few years away. So all those people saying that it was coming next year, sorry, disappoint. It's not coming next year. Maybe 2026 at the earliest, but even with that, I doubt. This is what I really disagree with. As a multi-platform strategy, they are, and I quote, no red lines, for which Xbox games will come to PlayStation, and the business is healthier than ever now. So I just want to go through, and I'm not going to make it too long, but I just want to touch on each point. Microsoft's still looking to make acquisitions in the gaming space. I think you guys need to slow the fuck down and focus on what you have at home. You have a lot of fucking great studios here that has yet to put out half of the games I've been fucking promised. Now, you have been putting out great games. I will give you your flowers. I've been enjoying my Xbox all generation. But just like with the Avowed situation being delayed because of quote unquote busy schedule, you don't have the fucking balls and you don't have the leeway to do that, Xbox. You guys deliver great games, but not on a consistent basis, at least to the point where you have that leeway to say, hey, we're just going to move one of our most anticipated games back because it's a busy. So when you do shit like that, that's when I come back and be like, yo, stop trying to buy up more shit and focus what we have here. Because I was mixed on the ABK shit because I knew it was going to be bigger repercussions to come from buying something that big. And you know, the Xbox fans is dealing with it so much to the point where the brand is changing as we know it, whether people want to admit it or not. So that's my take on the acquisitions. If you do it, get somebody small, get a little, double A studio, something like a Techland, maybe a support studio to help the studios you have now. But as far as people being happy about them potentially buying a Take Two or some big publisher, I'm against that at this point. I was happy with the Bethesda acquisition, and I was extremely satisfied with the Activision. Right now, I just want them to deliver on the games that these studios are working on. Let's have these studios get games out before you go buy up a bunch of shit. Now, the handheld being planned, but still years away. Personally, I'm fine with that because I feel like when the handheld come, that's when next gen is going to come. I'm not. I think next generation of games consoles shouldn't come for another 4 to 5 years. Personally, in my opinion, I would love for this console generation to last 10 years, only because the first 2 years of this generation, we got hit with delay after delay after delay. And that was industry wide. It wasn't an Xbox or a PlayStation thing. It was an industry wide thing. A lot of game devs is just not playing catch up. I feel like we're just now getting rolling. PlayStation, Xbox done had a year where it was very bare bones. Thankfully Game Pass covered for them. And this year Sony had a year where it's bare bones. But third party Illuminati deals covered for them. Rise of Ronin, Stellar Blade, Wukong, and Silent Hill 2 remake. And also, I'm gonna change my stance on this. Fucking salute to Sony. I was one of the people coming on here bitching about them getting Silent Hill 2. Yeah, I know, Panda. I know I was bitching about the money hatting deals, but the more I think about it, I'm not about to defend a fucking $1 trillion company letting a fucking smaller company money hat and backdoor deals. What the fuck, Microsoft? Don't let them niggas get a Silent Hill 2. The only reason I went out and bought a PlayStation 5 this year is because Silent Hill 2 remake was not on my platform of choice. So I had to go buy. I'm not one of those people that's going to miss a game I was excited for the last 4 or 5 years, just like Wukong, and then pretend to suddenly not be excited for it because it's not on my preferred platform. I'm not going to do that. So, like Microsoft, come on, man. You got the money. You got the money. I get that it's timed exclusives, and some people is just time gamers. You cool with waiting in time out until you get, just like the PlayStation people that beg for Xbox ports. If you cool with sitting around another 8 to 9 months waiting for Indiana Jones, then so be it. But guess what? Everybody on this panel is going to play it in December when it comes to Game Pass, whether we all like it or not. That's just the situation with that.
I mean,
And as far as the fucking red lines things, it's like, yo, and I really want y'all opinion on this. It's like, read the room, because I've been coming on here since the beginning, Panda. Retro, coming at the necks of gloom and doom Xbox people in the media. But it's like, at some fucking point, Microsoft, you have to look in the fucking mirror and stop putting yourself in situations where motherfuckers can gloom and doom. You have a lot of question marks over your brand. You got half of the brand upset about shit like Halo, Gears, and Fable potentially leaving. Panda, even you said you would feel some type of way if Fable was to go elsewhere. You waited years to get Fable, right? A new Fable game. I'm waiting years to get a new Halo and a new Gears game, just to turn around for PlayStation fans to have to wait an additional 3 months that we waited years to get. It's not a good look, man. And I just don't agree. The whole red line thing. You say shit like that, and then you get the Xbox fans ripping their hair out, going crazy. But it's like, that could have been avoided if Phil Spencer just keep his fucking mouth shut about certain things. You don't have to say no red line. You could have just, at this point, I'd rather you fucking lie to me at that point. Just say it's a game by game basis. But when you say no red lines, then I'm already anticipating maybe Hip Hop Gamer is right. Maybe Halo 2 remake or whatever they remaking it is going to go to PlayStation. And that's all cool and dandy, but it will be repercussions from this. Whether people want to admit it or not, I'm a diehard Xbox fan, but my entire life of being an Xbox fan is because of Halo, because of Gears, And as much as I love Xbox and the ecosystem, if all my favorite games can be played on one platform, like what are we doing here? So it's when you say the no red line thing, it's like what are we doing here? You know, I don't. It's a lot of things I don't agree with. I'm happy with the business being healthier than ever. I mean, shit, gaming
Hey,
is
hey,
more expensive
according
than
to
ever.
some people online, Xbox is dead for the 5th time this year.
Well, when you got us coming to bring them back to life and holding it down every time Phil Spencer stabs the fucking fan base in the back and in the chest, we got to come on here every Saturday. I'm not doing the shit no more. When I don't agree with shit, even though I've always been honest with my takes and shit, it's just my frustration is starting to dwindle a little bit because it's the mixed communication, the mixed signaling, I don't get it. And then you got people like Reese in the chat doing these mental gymnastics. No red lines doesn't equal everything is definitely going elsewhere. It
What do
doesn't.
you mean? He's been consistent with, I mean, saying Xbox is going third party and that things are going to look on a case by case basis. And that red line thing, he did not say. That was like an insider talking that this was a rumored thing. And so I guess he's addressing those comments itself around that. I know I wouldn't be happy if Fable went over there, but I also think some of those games that go over to PlayStation, they might be like, we're not going to say no, but we are only going to put them there if they're on Game Pass. So maybe Game Pass one day makes its way over to PlayStation. Who knows?
Yo, Ray, man, fuck you, man. Y'all gotta arrest me and take me into the bot court, man. I ain't going willingly, you sons of bitches, man. Y'all gotta drag me in there, man. But nah, this is coming from love for the brand, yo. You know, like I'm sure we'll talk about it more, even with the whole everything is an Xbox. So everything is Xbox and nothing is Xbox. Like if everything is Xbox, you might as well fucking throw PlayStation in there and take the marketing up a notch and really troll them.
PlayStation is an Xbox. You can play
Xbox
games on PlayStation.
But see, my problem with that marketing is no, the fuck it's not, because I can't play my entire library of Xbox games that I own on my phone. I can't do that shit on my laptop. I can't do that everywhere. So call that shit what it is. It's a cloud streaming box. It's not a fucking Xbox. Like, yo, at some point, shit is annoying, man. You feel what I'm saying? Like, the shit is annoying, bro. It's just like, what the fuck is we doing here? That shit is not an Xbox, my nigga. If I can't play all my own Xbox games on another system, that's the phone, not X. It's a cloud box. It's a streaming box. But if we're gonna call it an Xbox and you can't play all of your Xbox game natively,
I think you're looking at this too myopically, as in present day right now, because I think this branding and this ad slogan is leading into
the
what
future.
is coming.
And that's why I also don't
because
agree
we
with
know
shit.
that with the mobile phones,
it reminds me of the Xbox
Android?
One shit. Only difference is this is by choice. The Xbox One shit, they kind of made it like a mistake. Like, hey, you can watch this and you can stream this, and they forgot that
TV.
Yeah, like they forgot it's a gaming system first and foremost.
You'll soon be able to play the games that you own through the cloud, not just the ones that they set for cloud gaming. You'll soon be able to purchase your games through the Xbox app.
And maybe it's because my Wi-Fi sucked, but I'm not a huge fan of the cloud. I have not been.
It is
since
improving.
It's been introduced. It is improving. I tried, I think, Halo recently, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna install this. But at first it was smooth. But I'm just not a fan of cloud, and I feel like we're not there as a whole world. The whole world in general is not there to the point where everybody's gonna be satisfied with cloud. You know what I'm saying? I get that you gotta expand. I get that you have to do these certain things, but for this marketing campaign, I think that shit would have been smart and dope to kick off once the handheld is actually here. You know what I'm saying? When you have your own handheld, but you know what I mean? This is why people come here, and you know we always not gonna agree and have the same viewpoint. I love Xbox, but you know I like I said I love, and then it's like people call me pony bots or call me, like, you can call me whatever you want to call me, but at the end of the day, a lot of you niggas don't game more than me. A lot of you niggas don't got a higher gamer score than me. You niggas don't got more hours in Halo. My shit is documented, yo. Like, I really game. So when I say this shit, I'm speaking from passion. I really fucking grew up side by side with Halo. I'm only a couple years older than what the fuck Halo is, period. So I literally grew up with this shit. So to see something that I cherish this brand for and they potentially give it to the other brand, I'm gonna feel some type of way. Everybody here can pretend like they won't feel not, and when I say everybody, I'm not talking about the panel. I'm talking about like the chat, Twitter, just the general people I interact with. Y'all can pretend like y'all won't feel no type of way, and that's cool. But when Forza Horizon and stuff start going elsewhere, hey, I don't know what to tell. And then, like I said, with the marketing thing, I don't have a problem with this marketing, right? But I have a problem with the timing. You're doing it right before Black Friday, right before the Xbox is going to be cheaper, and you're telling people, hey, this is also Xbox. So hey, you can use your phone instead of going to spend $500 or in the 2 terabyte Galaxy Series X $600 on this new console. Hey, you can just stream on your phone, which isn't going to be as good as experience as being natively on the console. Might I continue to add? But that's my takes. Kind of long winded. Sorry.
That's okay. That's all right, Nero. I'm going to throw to Holly. So Phil had that Bloomberg interview, and there were a lot of things that were said and a lot of things taken out from that interview. What was your take? Was there anything that kind of like shocked you? Were you surprised by anything? I know we talked about the no red line. We got confirmation, and I don't know how many more times we can get confirmation that they're still working on next gen hardware, even though there are plenty of people out in the community who somehow seem to go, they're not working on another Xbox console, and they have to keep reminding everyone that they are. Yeah, what was your take from Phil Spencer's interview, and even your take from the this is an Xbox marketing campaign? Yeah, hear from you.
So the interview stuff, I think I saw that first right before the marketing campaign, right? Because I think it all dropped very early for us in the morning.
Yep.
The handheld being years away was a bit of a surprise to me. I
Agreed.
thought that was going to be announced at the Keeleys for next year, but it's not, apparently. The fact that Phil, what was it, 6 months, a year ago, kind of said, we heard you, handhelds, yeah, sounds like a great idea. We might be working on that, right? Like, when they get to the point where they confirm something like that in an interview, it's a done deal. It's coming. You just don't expect it to be quite that far out.
Yeah,
So
I think
that was
I agree with you there.
yeah. So I think that was probably the biggest surprise. Anybody who is surprised by no red lines, whether it was an insider, whether it was directly from Phil, like, I don't really think you've been paying attention to the marketing, or not even marketing, but just what they've been saying, right? Xbox is in a major transition, and I feel like that's very obvious. They closed on ABK, and ABK has changed the game for Microsoft. I think that at the beginning of the year, when they said a case-by-case basis, they meant that, because I don't think that they knew what they were doing, like where exactly they were going to be headed. I personally think there was a lot of internal struggle happening at that time on where they were going to go.
Yeah,
So
what's the next 10 years look like? Yeah.
Yeah. But I think they know now where they're going and what they're doing. And I don't think that the people who get upset about their Xbox games going to other platforms are going to be happy about what's coming in the future. It's honestly an exhausting topic, because it's like every 2 months, here comes some mild, tiny little statement, and everybody freaks out, and everybody talks about it over and over again. And I'm just like, can we just not talk about this anymore? Like,
I thought we put this to bed, right?
Yeah, that's Xbox's fault. That's Xbox's
Yeah, I was just
problem.
about to say that's their fault for coming out and constantly giving people the same ammunition to double back and triple back and quadruple back. It seemed like every podcast
Even
episode
if
we
they're
have this
fucking
year.
crystal clear, some motherfucker, sorry, language, is gonna somehow spin that shit and then turn it into a conversation point
That
that
is
the
very true, but
rest of
lately
the
they have
market
not
people
been
know.
Just
crystal clear.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I
always
get it. Like
well,
we definitely take his words to like he'll say it's a case by case basis, and he'll say like it's only the first like 4 games, but the context behind it is it's only 4 games initially. But us fans is running with it like, hey, he's only saying 4 games is going to PlayStation, nothing to worry about. But we're taking it out of context, or we're taking it how we want to
no.
take it to defend our egos. You know what I'm saying?
From the moment that those first 4 games went, you should have understood from that point that once that door was open, it's open. It's just how fast it's opening, right? And
Definitely.
so, or if there's a kitty gate on it, right? So
Yeah.
that's it. That's it, right? Like everybody just needs to calm down and worry about themselves and worry about where's your digital platform, where are you most comfortable playing in the future. And I'm telling you, the super most ironic thing about everything is that gaming all in the way back started on PC, and I am telling you gaming will end on PCs only
I
at some
agree.
point.
I fucking
It-
agree.
it's so it's just this whole dynamic about what's happening is I think it's overblown because I understand as a primary Xbox player, I understand why people are freaking out or did freak out or freak out every time somebody says something, right? I get it. But at the same time, unfortunately, as the very small minority of gamers, your freak out doesn't necessarily count for much weight, right? When the people who are on Twitter every day talking about gaming or sit and do podcasts or come and talk in our chat, which is amazing and we love you all, right? We're all a community, but we are the minority in the gaming in their business, right? And in their budgeting. So while it does hold some weight, it's not as much as I think people would love. And so they're trying to be sensitive to rolling out this new plan. And to be fair, when they didn't know, they couldn't give more like here's what's exactly
I agree.
viable for going everywhere and here's what's not. But I think they're at a point now where they know what their strategy is. And of course, strategies change, right? And Xbox is a punching bag for everyone every time anything goes wrong. So if they lay out their strategy and then it starts to be, you know what, that's not going to work the way we think it is, and they need to pivot, well, then they're on the chopping block again, right? Of course, they're on the chopping block no matter what they do, but they do get beat up, right, continually. But it would be better, I think, just to kind of calm the noise around this repeatedly. And honestly, the more often they say these kinds of things, the more quiet it gets, right?
East Side
But
Vandal. I
old
agree, I
folks,
agree. But he's like, breaking news, old folks, you are now old. These corporations don't care what you want because you're going to be dead. Sorry to break this to
I
you.
it's
mean,
Oh
exactly
my fucking
true.
god.
that's
It's
so true.
true.
And like me personally, I'm gonna treat Xbox how Xbox is treating Xbox. You treating Xbox like it's a Game Pass box, then it'll be my Game Pass box. I'll continue to have Game Pass. I'll continue to support it, but I just gotta continue to see.
That is exactly what it is, though. That is
Yeah, I mean that's
100%
that. But
exactly what it
that's
is.
the thing. That's the thing, though. I was with
They're
Xbox
fine
before
with
it
that. They
became the
don't really
Game
care
Pass box. I know, and
as
that's the
long
thing. So it's like they don't care. Cool. I'm gonna just treat them how they want to be treated, and that's how a lot of the hardcore fans is.
They want you
Because
to
a lot
interact
of
with
us,
them the way they would
like,
expect you to.
as much as I love Game Pass, I love it to death. Like Game Pass hasn't been here my entire life, just like none of us are. Like we come from an era of buying our games and supporting our games. Game Pass is way more convenient and shit like this, but to make the entire Xbox brand just pretty much, banking on Game Pass, it is what
well,
it is, and like I said, if it stays at 19.99 for the next 4 to 5 years, which we probably know it probably won't, then I won't complain. But when you start getting into that 22, 23, 24, 25 a month, I just definitely take it by game basis, because to this day I have no problem with buying games. And then it's games coming out, right, that's gonna fucking consumers, guys. Like GTA 6 next year. Yo, Panda, you with Fable? Yo, just think Fable and GTA 6 next year alone. And then whenever Mass Effect come,
I'm
it'll be a
gonna be real
time.
fucking honest.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
GTA,
Not for you.
meh.
Man.
I could care less.
You know what?
Sounds
Why am I not
horrible, but
surprised?
like I'm
No,
like
it's not.
it's
Why am I
fucking
not surprised?
yeah. Yeah, I'm just like
But wait,
it's no Mass Effect. That's all I'm gonna
It's
say.
definitely no
Yeah.
Mass Effect.
That's a game. If we're gonna talk about a fucking great game, Mass Effect.
Oh yeah.
But
Mass
they found
Effect
their
is
genre. They found their shit with
tremendous.
it with online with GTA. So
Definitely.
they found their niche to make money.
The one thing I will say is then the marketing campaign. I saw this and I was like, oh, all
I think it
right.
was too soon.
I just thought it was kind of awkward. Like they like the whole point is right. Like Chat's been saying, like
Eastside Vandal, nobody called
everybody
me that
who's
game's more than
young
me.
doesn't play on a console, right? They
Let
play
that
on
be
a
known.
PC, they play on their phone, they play on a tablet. They like consoles, sure, but it's because their parents have one or something like that, right? Like for the most part. So getting this whole idea of you don't need a console, that's lame. That's old people stuff, right? Like that's fine and dandy. I have no like this marketing campaign is not meant for us. It's meant for the
agree.
youths, right? But the thing that I watched it and the first thing I thought was, okay, but you picked a 40-year-old song to
Hey,
like
to be honest though,
it.
the
I'm
song
sure
did
the
the
thing,
lyrics. The lyrics did
the
match.
lyrics match, but it's a freaking 40-year-old song, and I was just like, you're trying to do this for like what 17 to 30-year-olds or something like that, right? And like you should have picked a song that's probably a little more current to their, you know.
Yes.
Question: do the kids around y'all in real life not like consoles anymore? Because all the kids I know, I got like so many little cousins and nephews, all still love their PlayStation 5s or Xboxes. So
Yeah, but
I guess the
what goes
overarching.
with them whenever
Mhm.
they leave the house?
Yeah.
I mean, that goes with everyone though. I mean, I guess
Yeah,
I'm just
but
not
that
the
is
type of guy to play.
they're saying that is an Xbox.
I don't know. Maybe my hands too big. Like I'm just not the. I tried playing games and shit on mobile, but I would just rather have a dedicated
But you didn't
handheld.
grow up with the same type of devices that they are now, right?
Yeah, we grew
That's
up.
very true.
Yeah, so the way we interact with video games is very different to the way the younger generation who's playing these games interacts with them. I am not surprised by like so many things that were said during this interview. The acquisitions, we knew that was happening. It's nice to know that what they're looking at and where they're looking at going, so you can get an idea of what games to expect in future, potentially on Xbox. Nice to know that it's smaller acquisitions at this point, because I think they're still assimilating ABK.
I don't think they need any. I don't want.
I don't think they need any. I don't think they need any.
Man. I really
Just
don't.
expand your
this was-
idea box program.
I thought this was only really focused, though. I thought their point of that was only focused on like the Asian market.
It's sort of saying it's great. It's going to give us a chance to see like what games are potentially we may get on there, just knowing what market that these games are being made in, which is quite cool. Yeah.
Yo, why y'all trolling me so much in the chat, man? Screw y'all. Like, whatever. Hilarious, man.
Oh.
My trousers in a knot is diabolical. Like trousers, that's it. Like whatever. Like.
I think it was just interesting listening to him talk about the red line and talk about that no games are off limits. And it might be just no IPs are off limits. Who knows how that goes, because they could expand an IP and put it somewhere else. I don't know what the future's gonna hold. And I think as a consumer, it would be nice to know, but I'm not meant to know at this point, because they're looking so far ahead in the future around where the market is going, where the industry is going, where technology is going, and and trailblazing that and preparing for that.
And
They
that's
are looking at the future, and us as gamers who are a lot of people from being pulled, kicking and screaming into current day gaming, and what the reality looks like today.
Don't get your eyes
Then
too glued on the future that you ignore the present, man. That's just my my message. Like,
I
like I
know,
said, at
but
the end of the day, you do gotta read the
I
room.
agree with it, but I feel like they're setting it up for what that is going to look like. So I think they are trying to tell us what to expect from the future, but there are some things that we aren't going to know that they're planning for that around where the industry's going.
Because not to cut you off, have they even delivered on the? Can I get 2 years of you delivering on a big banger first party game every quarter? Can you deliver on that for multiple years consecutively?
That's
And have it
okay.
and have them games hit though. Have them games hit.
That started with. It was meant to start, I think, with Hellblade 2.
Okay, can we go quarter by quarter what we received this year? Hellblade 2, was that the
I
first
said I
one?
think it was meant to start with
Okay.
Hellblade 2. I think that's what the intention was, but they haven't necessarily lived up to
Yeah,
that.
they and that's why I agree with Blue. With they don't need any more studios. Deliver on the promise of of a big first party game every quarter. If you can do that for 2 years in a row, meaning give me a banger, 4 bangers a year for 2 years in a row with all the studios y'all have, I don't feel like that's an unreasonable request. Because like I said, I don't buy Game Pass month by month. I buy it to stock up.
But
So
you're saying deliver four games banger per quarter, like one game per quarter that's a banger. Well, moving Avowed into the beginning of next year would move it into the next quarter. So they are looking at how do we live up to that, not overcrowd our games, but also deliver on the fact that you want these games spaced out and you want them on a regular cadence. And so that means that they're going to make moves around to deliver on that. And I know you and I don't like the fact that we're having to wait for Avowed, but this quarter they have had Black Ops 6 and they have got Indie. And for second party, they've got Stalker 2. Do they need another big first party
from a gamer
studio?
perspective, yes. From a
But
business
no,
perspective, it makes sense. But I'm talking from a gamer
but
because
you said
not
I would like
everybody
them
is.
to deliver on this each
Yeah,
quarter.
but
So in
what I'm
order to
saying
do
is,
that, they've got to move some things around,
what I'm saying
right?
is that, but if you already got something set in stone to make it seem like it's
But
coming
no
within a
game is ever
window,
set in
I'm
stone
saying don't make a vow
until
seem
we
like
are
it's
playing
coming
it in
this
our
year.
hands.
If they moved a vow because of graphical or bugs or shit like that, cool. They said it's a busy window. Not everybody is a fan of what's in this window. Not
So would we
everybody is
rather have
enjoying Black
nothing
Ops.
first quarter next year?
If that means I get a vow when it was promised, then yes.
Well, then you've completely just basically said I don't care about a big game every quarter.
You shouldn't have to delay the games that's already promised for said quarter to next
But
quarter to stick to that though.
Stalker 2's been promised for the last 2 years.
Stalker 2 isn't
And
first
they've
party.
delayed and delayed and delayed. But I'm just saying, like, games aren't set
From a
in
first party
stone. But
perspective,
games
like
aren't set in stone,
I'm
though.
more of an RPG type dude. Like I know I love
Until
shooters and
the
shit,
game
but
releases, it can be delayed, it can be pushed back. And it doesn't matter I know as a gamer, you're saying it from a gamer's perspective. Like, I want this and I want that. But gamers are fucking entitled. And sometimes we don't even know what we want. And I would rather have some time to digest the games that I get to play this quarter and get a regular cadence. I'm happy for them to delay it so it has a chance to breathe and is not overshadowed by those other big games that are also launching this
I get
quarter.
all that too, and I agree. I'm not saying anything you're saying is wrong, but my whole thing is for somebody that's strictly, if I'm a Game Pass subscriber and I'm strictly here for RPGs, and I was specifically excited for a Starfield, Shattered Space, and Avowed. Shattered Space release, it was lackluster. Whether you like it or not, the general consensus is it's a letdown. Starfield is still my game of the generation, but that DLC is a letdown. In my honeymoon phase, I love it, but as I continue to play it weeks after and went to explore the quote unquote handmade things they made, it wasn't so handmade. So I got disappointed by that. And then for Valve to get delayed, I get it, right? But the thing about Game Pass is diversity. When you start delaying certain big genre games, and then like, okay, you can Call of Duty is big. That's awesome. That's dope. But Call of Duty is also not for everybody. Some people might have
Correct.
been subscribed to Game Pass banking on a Valve. Like I get it. This happened. It's fine. But I'm saying don't let this be this happens every other year. Because at this point, what is the point of you buying all these studios and having all these studios if you're scared to release more than one or two big games? If you're banking on game sales, then it makes sense. Yeah, space them out. Yo, Sony, space your games out. You're banking on sales, but when you're banking on subscriptions, it don't. I personally, I feel like that shit should not matter if it's sitting in subscription. If two big games launch side by side, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that shouldn't be so detrimental to where you delay games. And I support the fuck out of Obsidian. I said it before. If it was delayed because of technical issues, I would be a-okay with that. Take all the time you need, but to delay the game for a busy launch schedule, like I said at the time, I was fine with that because I thought I was getting Shadows, Assassin's Creed Shadows. I thought I was getting that. I thought Starfield Shattered Space was going to be a lot better than what it was. That was lackluster. Like I said, Call of Duty is cool. I'm enjoying it, but I'm more of a Halo guy. I'm more excited about the Halo 2 playlist and the third person view. I just feel like I'm really missing a Valve this year. And Veilguard is as fun as it is and as cool as it is. I only got that because of Valve wasn't here. So that's just my take on it. I get it. You got to delay. You got to stick to promises and shit like that. But when I buy shit in advance, it's because I think something is coming this year. And like I said, it's not in the first couple of years I put up with it. Starfield being delayed. Halo when that initially got delayed, I put up with a lot of that shit because the entire industry was dealing with it. But now that we're 4 years in and you pushing shit back because of launch, me personally, I just don't agree with that. That's just me.
Fair point. Fair point. Yeah.
And for the people that's making it seem like I'm bugging, if you beat less than 10 games this year, please shut the fuck up. Don't talk to me. You're not in the same lane. Respectfully, not to drop my nuts. Like niggas is out here, y'all barely beating the games Xbox did. Every game Xbox bring out, I beat that shit. Literally damn near, if not the same week, the same weekend, at least the same week, definitely the same month. So for me, I'm thirsting for games. Everybody's situation is different. So motherfuckers might be cool with getting 2 of the fucking 4 games that was promised to us, but not everybody is. We're all consumers. We all pay for Game Pass. This is just my stance. So
I was going to go to Soul, but he's gone off screen.
yeah, Soul been eating like a motherfucker, yo. He came back. I wanted to say something so bad, but one of us was talking when he came back, and I don't know if he knew that he cut the camera on. It caught him at the end of the frame, just tearing whatever the fuck he was eating up, man. So that was funny. I'm gonna try to run the screen back and try to screen record that. Fuck with him.
Well, while he's gone, for me around the ad campaign, and I know a lot of people freaking out about this ad campaign, and for the hardcore, it didn't sit well, and I don't think it was aimed at us. And how everything on that is an Xbox except like the bento box and the cat box and another couple of things on there. The fact that they are kind of putting that slogan around, what is it? Play Xbox on an Xbox. And so what they're trying to say is if it's got a screen, basically you're eventually going to be able to play Xbox games on this thing. So as far as we're concerned, if you've got access to it playing these Xbox games, that by association makes the thing that you're playing on it an Xbox. I think for console gamers, we're just one pillar of the market that they're looking at. And that does mean that we are no longer the primary market, and they say that we're still really important. That's because it's fucking weed. That's because they are looking at the other pillars that they've got around delivering games to Game Pass, making sure that you as a gamer can play Xbox games on whatever and wherever you want to play them on is important. I do think that this should have probably been an ad that they debuted maybe at the Game Awards and actually because that this ad is better than so many ads that they show at the Game Awards, and that's saying something about the ads at the Game Awards. And then really come out and announce a strategy around why this ad campaign has started. The reason why you can do this. Okay, we've now got, you can play all the games that you own digitally in your cloud. It's no longer the games that we set. You can now buy your games on the app if you want and play them on the app, play them through the cloud, everything like that. This felt like it was just sitting there, and then there was just bits missing around what next around this strategy, and they've kind of left this ad to kind of sit there by itself and do nothing. It felt like there was meant to be something else that came along with it that kind of explained why we've got this ad and what the plan is, because they've obviously got a strategy and they're wanting to talk and share about that strategy, but they're not going the way. It's very disjointed, and they're not going the right way around doing that if they want the people who are already with Xbox to really understand that nothing around their experience is going to change. If you have an Xbox, you can play your Xbox games around that. If you have a portable device, you can play them there. They talk about putting the gamer at the center of everything that they do. And then if you look at the peripherals that are kind of out from the center of that, that is essentially what they're wanting to do. We joke about, you can play a Skyrim on a fridge, right? And I think that's what Xbox and Game Pass, they want to get to, where that could be a joke that actually exists, where you could play their games on a fridge. Yeah.
To your point, real fast, just one more quick thing. And it wasn't just like, it wasn't just like a new commercial that dropped, right? They
It's
went
a whole new ad
all out
campaign.
about, here is our new campaign, and like made it this big
I was like,
statement, right?
Where's the
And I was
rest of
like,
it?
yeah.
I thought
yeah.
there would be like an Xbox Wire article about it or something, like,
Or a video, like not just the trailer, but like a video behind it to talk about, today we're launching this and whatever that meant for everyone, right? Yeah.
yes. And if they do this at the Keeleys, I'll be like, why the fuck didn't you just show the ad at the Keeleys then? But yeah, I agree. It just felt off and wrong. I was wanting to go to Seoul, but Seoul has left us.
I haven't left you.
You know, you have to eat food.
No.
But what was your take on like the ad campaign, or even Phil's interview with Bloomberg? Because he's been going on to a lot of places that aren't really gaming outlets to talk to people.
Yeah.
I also noticed there's been a bit of trend on that.
Yeah, I think, Phil is probably personally tired of the IGNs or the VGCs, or I'm just throwing out names.
Industry.biz. I mean, he looked tired in
I think
the screenshot everyone's sharing of him.
I think he's tired of them and the shitty coverage that Xbox gets, and he's probably just made a decision.
Yo, real quick to touch on that picture. Somebody said he fought a real bad case of COVID. Somebody said they had a friend at work. Wow. I don't know how true that is, but I just wanted to point out, if that is true, prayers to you, Phil. I'm happy you recover and hope you continue to recover. But I'm sorry, I just wanted to throw that out there.
No, you're good.
No, that's good. And to be honest, I'm just saying, I was not referring to the picture or anything. I'm just thinking Phil is just tired of that, and so that's another battle. So I guess his, maybe his train of thought is, I can show you better than I can tell you. So he's, it looks like he's cutting them off in a sense. But but this is one time. I mean, not one time, but yeah, he's been going to these other places, and he still does interviews with other people. He just sat down with Ryan McCaffrey not too long ago this year. So, I mean, it's still there. I think it's just one of those things that, hey, this is a way to get it out to all kinds of different people who would normally just watch. Go outside the gaming.
Yeah,
I think it's because of investors and the fact that now they're becoming Microsoft gaming and not.
There you go.
It's all about the the
it's the
business
revenue.
side.
Yeah, it is. And
Because
so
they're
it's like we
becoming
got to
part
get
of
it to these
Microsoft
places.
corporate more, right, than its own
Right.
separate wing.
And
Nero,
so,
you're gonna love this if you haven't seen
you
it.
you you go to these little places, or not little places, you go just to these gaming sites, you're not reaching the same audience who gonna have that big money for investments. And so they gotta let the world know what's going on. The ad, though, I'm probably the only one who really liked the ad. I thought the ad was dope, but you gotta remember, right? Yeah, exactly. um for me,
Yo, come on, man.
for
Sorry,
me,
Soul. I'm sorry. Continue.
Yo,
no, no, no. I'm
Continue.
just saying, that this the song is not 40 years old, but it ain't 40 years old. It's like more like 25. Let's get that together. All right. Yeah, it's like 25. You know, it might be a little bit, maybe 30, but it ain't 40. I can tell you that, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm a little bit older than 40. You know what I mean? So that was out about the time I was coming out of high, and I was in college. So this is more like 96, 97, somewhere right around there. And I'd be surprised if it was after. But I love the song. I understand where they were going. Me personally, the real petty side of me, wish they would have just been like Sony, Xbox, Sony, Xbox, and I'm talking about real grimy. I'm showing these high fidelity games, and then I'm showing the other ones that not don't look so good over there. With some of these different things, I would go petty with it like that. But I really dug the commercial. I understand where they're going. To me, when folks are splitting hairs on, well, this isn't, you can't do this here, you can't do this there. That's true, but we know what they're trying to tell you. If you open it up, you can open your phone, you can play. If you have the damn MetaQuest, you can play, or whatever it is. You can play wherever you kind of want to, and they're driving home that point. It's a good selling tool. You'd be surprised how many folks actually know that song, as old as it is. It's kind of like one of those songs that don't go away, like Jump Around. Jump around. You can play that right now, and it's still bang. So, I love the choice, but I especially love the fact that it was by Black Sheep. And if you think about Xbox, they kind of like the black sheep of the gaming, of the gaming world. When you think about it, you think Sony, you think Nintendo. So I like the fact that they kind of put all of that together. I probably would have sliced it a little bit differently, but I really like the commercial. But I guess it's because I see where they're going, and I'm perfectly fine with that. So as far as the red line deal, not surprised to hear it. Don't really want to hear it because it just makes you think that
thank you.
Halo is got one foot across the line, and you just don't want to see, like,
That's what I took it
basically
as.
I mean, you don't want to see your mascot everywhere, because Mario ain't coming over to Xbox, or he ain't going to Sony. If it does, maybe my daughter is like 30 by then or something. That's another 20 years. But I just don't see those entities doing that. So I don't like the fact that Master Chief could be played over there. And part of me is like, any form of fashion, I would hate for a main campaign to be over there. I might be okay with multiplayer. I don't even know about that. It just doesn't even sound right rolling off my tongue, to be
Because
perfectly
campaign is
honest.
my favorite parts of Halo. So that
Campaign
shit
is, yeah,
definitely.
so I wouldn't want to see that. Me personally, but I get where they're going, and at the end of the day, the dollars have to make sense. And if they need to bring it, if they're bringing in more, if they're making more acquisitions, if they're going to be buying not just more companies but IP as well, because I'm sure they're going to get into that, where they're like, well, you know what, hey, we'll bring this in. They got to bring that money in, man. They're making money hand over fist, but you know, uh, um, the goal is to always make more, and that's what they're going to do. So we got to get used to some things just not being the same. So, but I feel the same way about this, to be honest, as I did with digital media. soon as I had an option to start buying it and I didn't have to go to the store or whatever, I was good. I have boxes that I look at right now and I'm like, I don't even have any place to take these. And they're there for decoration. So when those games became digital, all in, And so that transition was pretty smooth for me. And this transition works for me too. So, you know, I'm okay with where they're going. I don't like it. I really don't like it. But it is what it is.
And that's the thing. I guess I want the overall arching point to be, it's we can accept it as Xbox fans. What the fuck can you do besides
Yeah.
accept it? If you really love Xbox, you're gonna have no choice but to accept it. You can understand it from a business perspective, from a growing the brand perspective, from just reaching more consumers. But you don't
Mm.
have to lay down and pretend like you're a-okay with this. And that's what I'm not gonna do. I'm not okay with seeing Halo and Gears of War on PlayStation if they ever do go. I will accept them going. I will hope for the dev's sake that the games sell well, but it's games don't sell well on PlayStation in general.
Mm.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth this year, 2 million copies sold. Astrobot, 1.5 million copies sold. Hi-Fi Rush didn't sell enough over there to keep the studio from being sold off. So putting your games on PlayStation doesn't equal automatic sales, because putting out a great game nowadays don't equal automatic sale. And the best example I continue to use is Alan Wake 2. Look how long it took them to become profitable. I don't even believe they're profitable yet with that game. I believe they just broke what they spent to make it. And that's one of my favorite games of this generation. So that's why I just be, I question it a lot. And all this could be avoided if Xbox don't go out and do these interviews, sit down with the IGNs, and it's a double-edged sword. At one point you're doing a good deed because you're communicating with the community, which I love, which I respect. You stand in front of them, like Phil Spencer, as much shit as people give him, he stand in front of, he don't hide behind other. He go sit down in these interviews. He take the heat. He take the backlash. Whether I agree with what he do or not, I respect that shit. I respect the fuck out of it. But a lot of these topics and shit that be going on in the community is self-inflicted shit from Microsoft. But like I said, it's a double-edged sword. Do you want him to be active with the community and talk to us like he do consistently, or do you want him to just be like Sony execs, don't communicate with none of us? So you got to pick
Mm.
your poison. Me personally, I wish sometimes just shut up and let us see. We already know everything is, Xbox. We know games is going to keep reiterating it, and then saying certain shit. It's just like at this point, Blue. She said it
If you're
earlier
not
when you
adding
seen
to
the
the
first.
conversation, don't say anything at all,
Yeah,
right?
that's pretty much what I'm saying. And like Blue, she said it so well earlier, where it's like they really do set themselves up a lot of the times for a lot of these discussions that be had. But when they put the first 4 games over there, we all knew that more games was going to come. Like if you didn't
Mm.
know that, then like you're not paying attention. That's true. And like I knew games was going to come. It's just certain legacy games that I grew up with that I'm heavily associated with Xbox. And can't nobody tell somebody that's been a fan since day one you shouldn't be upset about that, or you shouldn't feel some type of way about that. To me, I feel like that's selfish to tell somebody like, hey, that's like if fucking Mario just woke up tomorrow and was all over fucking Xbox and PlayStation. You can't tell Mario fans to not feel some type of way in some form or factor that their favorite fucking mascot for their favorite platform is now on competitive platforms. Like, I don't.
Yeah. All right. Well, the show has been on for quite a while, like almost 3 hours. We did have two other topics to talk about, so I'm just gonna quickly, if Holly, do you have anything that you wanted to add on any of those last two topics to do with the PlayStation 5 Pro up to 45% improvements promise? Doesn't seem like they've lived up to that due to memory bandwidth constraints, or anything you want to add about some of the Game Awards stuff there. So like remakes and remasters are eligible in all
That's crazy
categories.
too. Shout out to
Um,
Elden Ring making them change their whole fucking outlook on the Game Award. That's insane.
yep. Um, the jury deems the new creative and technical work to be worthy of a nomination. Yeah. Is there anything you want to add before we head out? I'm just mindful of how long the show's been going. And I'm hungry.
It do not feel like
Yeah.
this show has been 3 hours.
Yeah, almost
It
3
is.
hours.
The PS5 Pro, whatever, man. Just let people enjoy their Pro, and like you know what you were getting with the money, and if it benefits you, then so be it, right? I didn't upgrade mine. I just didn't see a point in it for me. But the Game Awards, I absolutely think, think Red Bull does. I think that there absolutely should be a separate category for
Mhm.
best DLC slash remake. Although it is tough to do, like Alan Wake's DLC was very good. It was 90 minutes or 2 hours, whatever around that, right? Depending on how you play. And how do you put that up against, let's just say, the RE4 remake, right? That's an entire
It
game,
was
right?
fucking.
So it's difficult. They should probably have a best DLC category, period. And then if, every year you could rotate on and off if there's remakes that are deemed worthy or something like that. I don't know. Putting them in the game of the year category is a little tough. But I also, when they put the RE4 remake in last year, I was like, it was worthy. Like it was, it was really, really good. So I don't know. I just feel like the Keeleys are the Keeleys, and really most of us just watch it for the ads that come in it,
That was
and that's
a
it.
remake, right? And I feel like that definitely a lot more work went into that than like a remaster
Mhm.
Yes.
of like The Last of Us or
Yes,
something
I
like that.
agree.
Where you're like,
I
hey,
agree.
they've put a lot more time, effort. They built this great game from the ground up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I just feel like it's just, people get mad about this, and I'm just like, are you really watching it for the awards? You're not.
Right.
Yeah.
You're watching it for
They're just
for
watching
the-
it for clout, to be honest. They just want to be able to go, "Nyeh, nyeh, nyeh," and all this other
This
shit.
this might
about-
piss people off, but I kind of agree that they kind of should be not. Okay, first of all, I agree with Panda. They deserve their own category, but some of the best games I played this generation has been remakes. Whether it's Resident Evil 4 remake, Dead Space.
remasters should be.
Yeah, remaster should be dead. I don't think remastering just slightly upgrading, like, no. But when you full on remake these things, I think they deserve a little nod because Silent Hill 2 remake, I didn't play the original, but I watched enough video essays on the original, and the things that this game improves on, like the sound quality alone, deserves a plethora of nominations. I don't know if Game of the Year would be one for sound quality. They got their own, sub genres for that. But sometimes these remakes, man, I know people get upset, but go tell people to make games better than what the fuck is being remade. To this day, what horror game has came and surpassed Resident Evil 4 remake or 2 remake or 3? What horror game has came on the scene and surpassed Silent Hill 2, the original or the 2 remake that just dropped? So it's like, I know people get frustrated with these type of things, but that's more of a reflection on the industry failing to make modern day bangers at the rate that they was back in the day.
I will say though,
Say
the
Panda.
cutoff fucking date for the
Yeah.
nominations,
Wait, what is the cutoff date?
November 22nd.
And when is the Game Awards?
They pushed it back. Is
Huh.
it because of Stalker, I wonder? Because
Mm.
it used to be
Maybe.
like November 5th or something like. Because
Yeah, I
remember
thought
the
it
year
was
that
way
Forza
early.
just missed the
Just
cutoff?
launched and they missed the cutoff. I think it's
Mhm.
because like there's quite a few games that launch at the beginning of November.
Mm.
But I still think that they should do from year to year the full 365 days, and then
I think
like
so.
end of January, beginning of February, do the Game Awards.
Yeah, I think the Game Awards being a New Year's Eve thing would be amazing. Don't you think? Maybe, or am I tripping?
They need to push it because like by the time you get round to games that would have been eligible, like Indiana Jones isn't eligible this year. It's eligible in next year, but it's a 2024 game.
Mm.
Mm.
And by the time you get round to the actual awards, it's the end of 2025. Like, so no one's
Well-
really. I don't know.
It's
If you
got
want,
a
if you
dual
want,
release though between Xbox and PlayStation.
well,
so then it'll
PlayStation, yeah, with
be
the 6 months. I guess that's a lucky game to get 6 months delay. That's probably why they did it. They'll be like, that PlayStation version's gonna get us that
that
nom at the end of the
optimized
year.
Pro version.
Yep.
That actually might
Yep.
be genius.
Not the PC version, but the PlayStation 5 version. But yeah, it's the date. I just don't. If you're gonna say these are the game awards for this year, then make every game that launches in that 12-month period eligible for a
Mhm.
nomination
I agree.
for that year.
I agree.
I think it's a tough
That's my
time for
biggest
them
issue.
to move it because there's some game awards in the beginning of the year, not theirs, right, but others. And then like Xbox has been doing the direct in January every year. So then Xbox is like, why would I put my stuff on your
Mhm.
thing if I've got this here, right? Like I think after you get over past the first of the year, you start bumping into other things that maybe is the reason that
There's a lot
is
of
the
other
overall
award
problem.
shows there as well.
Plus,
though,
then
like-
you're getting too close to your next show.
I need to
He
start
needs-
watching those
he
other
needs-
shows.
He needs time in between, right, to get the Summer Games Fest
Yeah, that's
thing
true. That's
rolling.
true.
Mm-hmm.
Which I do got to give him flowers because I am a vocal Keeley. I want to say hater. Hate is a strong word, but I
I
raise an
would.
eyebrow here and there. Yeah, I know you and Retchy would scream from the rooftops. Fuck that guy. But I mean, I can't say I hate him because I just became familiar with him the last couple of years, right? But I just want to say I do appreciate his shows, man.
I'll ask you in 4
gaming
years'
thing
time if you
related,
still like him.
yeah.
Soul, what about yourself? What was your take from either the topic? I mean, we're talking about the game awards at the moment. If you just want to touch on
No, Keeley does what Keeley does. I mean, nobody's surprised. So, but I'm not with. It needs its own category. That's it. Just let it be the best out of that category and keep it moving. There's too much.
that, well, it's hard because
too much energy
remake-
on this.
remakes aren't always guaranteed to be every year, right?
True.
Yeah.
That's true.
Oh,
So
I
it
think
would need
it's
a lot of remasters though.
gonna try and end the don't end it. Don't end it. Go on.
Yeah, I think remasters should definitely not be included. But I think remakes only because remakes, if you do a remake right, it technically is a new game. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
Resident Evil 4, the Resident Evils in general, Last of Us Part 1. When you do build it from the ground up, then, I guess I respect it being considered and being nominated. But I agree, remasters should definitely be off the table as a whole. And this is just a way to goddamn, give Sony more nods.
All right. Well, we're gonna quickly do some out.
Or if not Sony, at least. Oh no, I was just gonna say if not Sony, at least friends of Keeley. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that's what it
pretty
seems
much,
like.
yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, we're gonna do some outros. I'm gonna put us back to the four of us. Just the four of us. Yeah.
Yo, you killed it on all the art tonight, man. I swear.
Yeah, you did. You did indeed. You did. Thank you to everybody watching live, to everyone who's put stuff in the chat, whether you're watching it on YouTube or on X, and whatever device you're watching it on, by the way, because that is an Aim Down Sights podcast available device. So just want to say that. Just gonna steal Microsoft's branding for their ad. We're everywhere. No, I'm kidding. But I just want to say a big thank you to Holly for joining us. 3 hours. I'm really sorry. Where can people find you? Yeah, while we get some outros out of the way. Yeah.
I'm that blue number on Twitter, and that's pretty much it. I'm on Tuesday nights on the Renegade Realm podcast with my crew of crazies, which are just the most wonderful people to podcast with, which is Red Wolf Renegade, Assassin Entertainment, who I think you've had everybody on, right? And DeMarco
We've had
Dude.
everybody. Yep.
You've made the rounds through our group, huh?
Yep. Yeah.
So, it's on It's on Red Wolf's channel, Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Central, and then Friday nights at 6 p.m. Central is the Infinite Podcast with Frisket and Umbra and Garuda and Dante Moody.
Mm.
Thank you for having me, chat. You're really good. You're awesome.
Mm.
And it's nice when people like talk and engage in the chat too. It helps us to just like see what you're thinking and have some stuff to bounce off of. So we appreciate it.
Exactly. And my brain gets so easily distracted that I just keep staring at it and going, "That's funny," and then going, "Oh my god, what was someone saying?" And then having to jump back to it and,
And
be
then
like,
there's a fuck
"I'm
you.
engaged
And then
again." And then there's fuck you, yeah. And then there's fuck you.
I just want to say real quick, Eastside Vandal, don't ever in your life feel the need to apologize to me, brother, about disagreeing over video games. First of all, I want to shout out to Eastside because we've been having a great back and forth in the chat. Brother, this is all love, man. Whether I sound heated or not, it's passion, my guy. It's passion. I'm a New Yorker. I'm a Buffalo Eastside kid. It's passion. It's not just because we disagree. First of all, you're here. You're listening to us on a Saturday night. Whether I agree with what you're saying in the chat or disagree, you don't have to be here. So thank you to you and everybody else in the chat. Fark you, I love you, brother. Great edits. Reese, continue to be a piece of shit. I look forward to hating on you every week, man. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But
And
Eastside, man, it's all love, bro.
And as I usually say, while you're still talking there, Nero, is where can people avoid you? Yeah, where can they avoid you? What socials
What?
to
Not he
avoid
was
you
born
on?
in Buffalo too. That's why we fucking arguing like this, dude. In the chat, we two fucking Buffalo dudes fucking arguing, yo. But it's a good argument though, man. You know, because he make good points. You know, he's saying, yo, you mad about one game being delayed, you got 400 more at your fingertips. But what I was just trying to explain to him is those 400 games in Game Pass, I've beaten at least over $150 of them joints. Like, and it's documented on like I beat a lot of games, man.
You
So
do.
it hit me
You
different when a game
to
get
play.
delayed. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I got more time on my hands than the average person. So for somebody who just, you know, a game being delayed in Game Pass might not hit them as hard as it hit me. And that's okay. We all game differently. So I personally feel more upset when something comes, even from just a content creator point of view. That's a game I really, anytime I can hold Obsidian up to the fucking moon and just into the sun, I'm gonna do it, man. So I'm just ready to fucking touch anything they work on. But on every platform, man, NextGenNero, chat, it's been awesome. Holly, Blue, it's been awesome having you back as a guest. Appreciate you coming through. It's been a great episode.
That's been a good episode. Thank you, Nero. Love having you on. So I wouldn't want another panel member. You're amazing. Soul,
Not as
the
amazing as you.
bearded man that you are. Where can we find you? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I am still over there on the app formerly known as Twitter. I got soul. You can find me there. I am there right now, but I have definitely transitioned over to old Blue Sky
Yo,
under the
it's
same
such a
name.
better vibe.
The vibe is good over there.
It is so good.
I'm digging the vibe. You know,
I'm
so
loving it.
yeah. That is find me right there. You know, I got soul. Blue
Yo,
Sky.
remind me,
Soul.
I'm gonna put our Blue Skies links in the subscriptions. I
Yeah.
gotta remember and get everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, great
All
app,
right.
guys. I will say, give it a chance. Give it a chance. I know a lot of people is tired of this toxicity on Twitter, and Blue Sky seems to be the opposite of that. And plus, every 2 scrolls, I don't get an ad.
And
for
then
Air Force.
every person's going to go there and it's going to be just as toxic. I'm kidding.
Right.
But currently, less toxic. So if you want less toxic, you can go there. Yeah. I recently signed up, so I was like, yeah.
So, Panda, when you signed up, did you have to wait as well?
No? Wait for what?
Okay, because I guess I signed up when it first came out, and I was on a waiting list for so long, and I just randomly got an email a month or two ago inviting me to officially join the app. So I didn't know if they were still making people wait or not.
No.
Okay,
No
that's
waiting.
dope. That's good.
The waiting game is over. Okay. Everybody, you can find me on X, Twitter. You can find me on Blue Sky. You can find me on Xbox when I'm on Xbox. And you can find me on the show each and every week with these fantastic people and guests when we have guests. Thank you, Holly, again. Shout out to our whole chat. Each and everyone watching live, watching after the show, watching on X, watching on YouTube, wherever you're joining in to watch the Aim Down Sights podcast. See, stoned, still stoned. Have a great rest of your night, day, whatever time of day it is. Be safe, and we will see you next week with another great show. And behave yourselves. Yeah, that's all we got. All right. Thank you.
Catch you guys in the
Bye.
next one.